Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be watching or listening to me from. My name is Ayoti, and this is the Naija FC podcast on Eagle Tracker, the home of Nigerian football. Another week, and we have another exciting episode for you. On this episode of the Naija FC podcast, we're going to, as always, be doing a review of the past weekend's action. We'll look at the NPFL and how things are shaping up leading to the last two match days of the season. We'll talk about Nigerian players that were on fire this weekend. We'll talk about Nigerian players who have now become champions with their teams across Europe. We will get into a review of the EFL Championship and League One seasons. We'll talk about the Falconets and their win over Malawi. We'll get into the European Cup semi-final. Second legs are coming up in the Champions League, Europa League, and the Conference League with Nigerian players on show in each of those competitions. We'll talk briefly about the AFCON 2027 with CAF releasing the timetable for that competition. We'll talk about the Super Falcons of Nigeria and their road to Los Angeles 2028. We'll talk a little bit about the coaching situation with the Nigeria under 17, under 20, and under 23 jobs. We'll dive into some comments made by a former Manchester City player who never got to play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And then we'll talk about Eric Shell and the Super Eagles ahead of the Unity Cup. Who are these new players that might be joining the squad? We'll get into all of that in this episode of the Naija FC podcast. So please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Make sure you engage with us in the comments. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. As always, I like to start by doing a review of the past weekend's action. We will talk about Nigerian players and how they performed, or at least those that performed well over the weekend. I'll start with the goalkeepers. We have Chiamaka Nnadozie here, who made one save for Brighton. We have Maduka Okoye, who kept a clean sheet, only having to make one save, but also creating one goal-scoring chance for Udinese. We have David Nwoloko, who kept a clean sheet and made two saves for NK Opatia, and then Chijoke Aniagboso also keeping a clean sheet for Chono Moretz in the UK. For the defenders, Ahmad Gali playing from left wing back created one assist, 4 chances created in the entire game, and then 4 goals for Sigma Olomouc in the Czech Republic. Chidozie Awazem kept a clean sheet while making 2 tackles and winning 6 goals for FC Nantes in the French League 1. Jonathan Runariha, 2 tackles, 13 clearances made for Hamburger SV in Germany. Igor Ogbu was on target, good finish, and also won 3 goals for Slavia Prague in the Czech Republic. Chibuike Nwanwu, 3 tackles, 5 clearances made, 15 goals, 1 for Trabzonspor in the Turkish Super League. Emmanuel Okereke, 2 interceptions made, 2 clearances made, 8 goals, 1 for VPS. We had Kingsley Ehizbue with a clean sheet and, of course, a goal, also creating 1 goal scoring chance for Udinese in Italian Serie A. And then Bright Osai Samuel with 4 tackles, 5 clearances, and 8 goals, 1 for Birmingham. Solid performance by Bright Osai Samuel. We also had in midfield Ibrahim Olawoni, 1 chance created and 4 goals, 1 for Kai Rizespor in Turkey. Ebenezer Kinsomiro, 1 chance created, 2 tackles, 4 interceptions made, 11 goals, 1 for Pisa in Italy. And then Nelson Okeke with 2 chances created and 5 goals, 1 for FK Jablonek in the Czech Republic. And then we had a host of attacking players that did well over this past weekend. Victor Samuel, 1 goal and 1 assist for FK Pardubice in the Czech Republic. Francis Eze, 1 goal and 1 assist for Ankara Kekauranguchu in Turkey. We had Viv Solomon with 1 assist for Ningbo in China. Chidera Ejuke, 1 chance created, 4 dribbles completed for Sevilla in Spain. We had Nathan Tella, 1 goal and 1 assist for Bayer Leverkusen in Germany. Onyekachi Okafor, 1 goal for Fortis. Ezekiel Henty, 1 goal for Hapoel Ramat Gan in Israel. Joseph Olokoede, 2 goals and 1 assist for Tukums 2000 in Latvia. Moses Usor, he played 2 matches and he scored 2 goals for LASK in Austria. Quadrade Duron was on target for Artis Brno. We had Mohamed Tijani scoring 1 goal from the spot, also creating 2 goal scoring chances for N Spartakos in Hungary. Ahmed Adebayo, 1 goal for Valletta in Malta. Malomo Taufik Ayodeji with 2 goals for Dynamo City in Albania. Simi Wanko, 1 assist for Al Oruba. Omar Abubakar with 1 goal for Famalicão in Portugal. Victor Osimhen, 1 assist for Galatasaray in Turkey. Kelechi Iheanacho, 1 goal for Celtic in Scotland. Antonio Potu with a goal for Al Jandal in the UAE. Friday Etim with 2 goals scored and 4 chances created for FC Fredericia in Denmark. Gabriel Chukwudi with 1 goal for Petrojet in Egypt. Abdullahi Tanko, 1 assist for FK Pardubice in Czech Republic. Michael Abi with 1 goal for Wycombe Wanderers in England. Tunde Akinshola with 1 assist for AVS in Portugal. Ehije Ukaki with 1 assist for Atromitos. Zadok Yohana, 1 goal 1 chance created and 3 dribbles completed for AIK. Philip Azango with 1 goal scored and 2 chances created for Spartak Trnava. Wale Ali with 1 goal scored and 2 chances created for Ironi Kiryat Shmona in Israel. Olamileko Ayinde with 1 goal for Bizerin in Tunisia. And then we had Taiwo Awoniyi with 2 goals scored, 1 penalty won, man of the match performance for Nottingham Forest in the English Premier League. It was a fantastic 3-1 victory for Nottingham Forest over my dismal Chelsea team. But yes, that is how it went as far as Nigerian players' performances over the weekend. And at this juncture, let me bring in my co-host so that he can share his thoughts on the weekend's action as well. Smilai, welcome.
Yeah, nice to be here after lengthy absence. Nice to be here. Wonderful Sunday, Monday evening again. Thanks for having me.
It was a bank holiday in the UK, so you're allowed to assume
so that's
that it was that's
why I said Sunday.
Yeah, still in the weekend mood. But yes, Milai. So I ran through a lot of Nigerian players and the performances over the weekend. We are going to touch on some of them, but just very quickly, let me ask you, without stating the obvious, who impressed you over this weekend?
I think it's Taiwo Awoniyi. Fantastic performance today. Before I tuned into the game, he already scored the first goal, and I was so impressed. This guy is just.
As Milai, I think we've lost Milai for a second there. Your connection broke up a little bit. Let me see. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go on.
Okay, yeah. So I was so impressed. It was behaving somehow too before it went off. So fantastic performance from him. It was like this performance, right? It's like Rashidi Yekini type of performance. Fantastic performance. He bullied the Chelsea defense. After that game, we don't want to get Adetunji to play for Nigeria again. It was just fantastic. It's what if you get a minimum opportunity like this and you can use it the way Taiwo did today, for me, he has to stay in the Premier League. And unfortunately, they didn't register him for the Europa League. That's just big mistake. Yeah.
No, and I would agree with you. Even though it was against my Chelsea team, Taiwo Awoniyi was fantastic today. 2 goals, 1 penalty, 1 caused problems the entire 90 minutes that he was on. Fantastic display. Before the game, Nottingham Forest made 8 changes. They rested all their star players. So this was Nottingham Forest bench versus Chelsea. And what a terrible performance it was for Chelsea. Ultimately, I look at it was bittersweet for me, because bitter in the sense that the team I support lost, but sweet for me in the sense that somebody that is my friend scored 2 goals, had a good game. Taiwo Awoniyi has struggled to get minutes so far this season, but I like the fact that when he does get his chance, he takes his chance and he does quite well. I was looking at statistics for Taiwo Awoniyi versus Chelsea's Liam Delap. So far this season, Delap has played 26 games, 1,007 minutes. He has 1 goal and 1 assist in the English Premier League. Taiwo Awoniyi has played 14 games, only 360 minutes, and he has 4 goals and 1 assist in the English Premier League so far this season. So with very, very limited minutes, playing for quote unquote a smaller club than a player like Liam Delap, Taiwo Awoniyi is outperforming him. It's unfortunate. Sometimes they say I don't want to bring race into this conversation, but it's like Liam Delap had an average season for Ipswich, signed for a club like Chelsea. Taiwo Awoniyi is struggling to get game time in Nottingham Forest when he's clearly a good enough player to be playing for a Premier League team. The guy that scored 2 goals against Manchester City today, he is also a black man, but I believe that Taiwo Awoniyi is better than him. 2 goals for Everton rather against Manchester City. And it's just unfortunate that maybe Chris Wood and Igor Jesus found form at the wrong time for him, coupled with his injury issues here and there. But I was very, very delighted for Taiwo Awoniyi, and I hope that at least for the rest of the season in the English Premier League, when he does get to play, since Forest seem to be really trying to go to the final in Europe, and hopefully they do get there. I hope that he can continue to do well. Let's also talk about another player, since we've already covered Taiwo Awoniyi. Let's talk about senior man Kelechi Iheanacho in a very, very tense and very interesting Scottish Premier League title race. Kelechi Iheanacho came off the bench and scored the winner from close range to help Celtic secure a 2-1 victory over who did they play against? Motik Bagbe?
Yips.
Yes, over Hibernian. Yes, over Hibernian. I mean, Kelechi Iheanacho is having himself quite a season. He has had his injuries here and there, but he seems to be coming up clutch for Celtic with some important goals when he's been coming off the bench. I think I have his stats here: 20 games that he has played this season, 39 minutes per game, so very much a bench player, and he has 7 goals and 1 assist. What do you think about Kelechi Iheanacho's performance over this weekend and just the season in general?
He's doing well. I watched that game too against Ibs. They had to win that game to stay in touch in the Premier League. So for me, it was a good game. And but IoT in the proper league, who allow you to chase the ball there and who allow you that type of thing?
It can happen now. Come on.
The Ibs brother were just looking at him like, no, they were already touching their hands. Like maybe he wants to shoot, he wants to go after him. But he scored. Congrats to him. He also scored. He came on a second extra time and scored 2 goals in one of the games that they won.
Yeah.
Extra time. So I also saw that game too. So he's good. See, he gets to a state that Water finds his level. Scotland is his level now. So and I'm happy that
he's 29 years old. He's about to be 30. So you're saying that his level is Scotland as of today.
His level is Scotland for now. He didn't cut into the championship. His level is Scotland. So let him do well in Scotland. Let him be doing his UFC or UFA, what you call it, like Efe Ambrose. From there, he can be a coach.
You're saying he should try to become a coach.
Yes, he can. When you are going towards the end of your career, except when we selling market, when you want to go towards the end of your career, you try and do other things too. I think that's one of the things that our players fail to do. So for me, in Scotland, he can start doing those things. Just talk to Martin O'Neill. I want to be an apprentice. So from there, you start learning. So for me, I think he's coming towards the end of his career. Forget about he's scoring the goals. He doesn't even look fit. Let's be honest, he doesn't look fit, but he's getting those goals. Let him just enjoy himself. That's the most important thing.
All right. Shout out to Kelechi Iheanacho, man. I thought it was a good goal, relatively speaking.
Yeah, it was.
With his limited minutes so far this season, I also think that he's having himself a good season. Maybe we'll talk about him later in the show, but let me move forward for now. Let's talk about another Nigerian player who seems to really be getting into some serious form as the season is rounding up in the German Bundesliga. I'm talking about Nathan Tella. Nathan Tella, of course, scored 1 goal, got an assist. But honestly, he could have had more assists if Patrick Schick got his finishing, under control in that game. He really ran the show for Bayer Leverkusen, and it was a must. Or let me not say must win. It was a very crucial game for them against RB Leipzig because they needed that win to be able to climb into the UEFA Champions League spots and try to get Champions League football for next season. So, did you see the game? Did you see the highlights? What do you think about Nathan Tella's performance and just his recent form for Leverkusen?
It's crazy. He's been doing well. It's going to be a crime if he's not included in the Youth League game. He did so well. I like even the assist that he gave the first goal that he gave Patricia. I think I've scored that goal. But he was just wanted to, I think the fourth line, is it Maza, Tella, and Sheik, they are destroying. I think it's Maza, the Algerian boy. They are destroying the Bundesliga currently. So for me, I was so impressed with him. RB Leipzig behaves as if they are, they are the big boys. They wanted to, show energy in the first half, but for me, they got smacked by Leverkusen. And I actually was very happy for the he can play on the right, play on the left. The way he moved the ball now, it's just crazy. The numbers are crazy. I think this coach is getting more from him than even Alonso, honestly. Because there was time that Alonso would play him as a right wing back, remember? But now he's playing very close to the striker. So for me, I think he can also help Nigeria very well. I'm really impressed with him. The goal and assist is not a bad performance.
No, you're not wrong at all. What Kasper Hellman is doing with Nathan Tella is definitely worthy of praise. He's showing a lot of attacking quality. He's creating a lot of chances, and he's just looking like a real player. And I have to agree with you. For me, this is the kind of player that I know he's been out of the Super Eagles squad recently. We're going to talk about Super Eagles a bit later in the program, but he definitely, absolutely should be called up. He is balling. He is in form, and he deserves to be rewarded for his for his performances for his club. And I think it's up to Eric Shaw to find again that missing formula, to find how he can use him. And I know that yes, coaches have systems and look for players that can fit into their system, but he needs to, when you see a player that is playing very well and is deserving of an opportunity, you as a coach also have a responsibility to try to see how you can bring out the best of the player. Try to see what you can do, how you can use him. I'm not saying that he's better than Ademola Lookman. I'm not saying he's coming to change Nigeria's lives, but you see what he's doing for his club and try to see if you can get him to also do that for the national team. So I think it's going to be a very interesting one to see if he does get caught up, and of course how he performs if or when he plays for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But a fantastic display against RB Leipzig. His recent form has been good. Even when he's not scoring, when he's not assisting, he's still putting in quality performances. And I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes for him with the rest of this season. So shout out to Nathan Tella. Okay, moving forward, let's talk about one other Nigerian player so close to the title, but not quite there yet. I'm talking about Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen's Galatasaray, they fell to a heavy defeat against Trabzonspor. Osimhen got an assist in that game, but realistically, he did not have a good performance. In fact, not to put all the blame on one person, but he was largely at fault for the way that result went. Made a big error that led to the red card for the Galatasaray goalkeeper. And then once they went down to 10 men, Trabzonspor just took control of the game, and they just dominated Galatasaray from there. If Galatasaray won that game, they would have clinched the Turkish Super League title. The good thing for Galatasaray, though, is that the competitors that they have are both unserious. Talking about Fenerbahce, Fenerbahce and Trabzonspor, they are very unserious. If Galatasaray drop points, themselves they will drop points as well. So now Galatasaray still sit top of the league. They have 74 points with 2 games left to play. Fenerbahce are second, 70 points. So technically, they can still catch Galatasaray. But of course, Galatasaray, if they win their next match, they would be champions of Turkey. They have Antalyaspor and Kashimpasa yet to play in the league. Osmilai, what do you think about it? And do you think that there's any way that Galatasaray can throw it away at this point?
They can't throw it away. See, this Turkish league is like the bookies league, honestly, because anything can just happen in the league. I don't know that type of this thing before. If Fenerbahce did not lose, when you say inconsistent, the teams in the Turkish league, they are extremely not consistent. You can't rely on them at all. But I don't see any way that you're going to actually throw it away, in my opinion. I think we'll still win the league. But for me, I think the league is just so bad to watch.
Well, yeah, the league is not a high quality league as well. But I mean, Osimhen is on his way to his second league title with Galatasaray. Onuachu is still top of the league. So let's see how that one goes. And very quickly, let me just do a roundup of the different leagues, or at least some of the top leagues that we have our Nigerian players, and see how the picture is shaping up as the season is rounding up. Like I just said, Osimhen's Galatasaray sit top of the league. We have Trabzonspor with Chibuike Nwai, with Tony Nwake and Paul Onuachu. They are third with 66 points. Wilfred Ndidi's Besiktas fourth with 59 points. Currently in a conference league spot. Anthony Dennis Gostepe fifth with 52 points. Ibrahim Olawoyin's Rizespor eighth with 40 points. And yeah, Genkler Beligi, the team that has Tom Dele Bashiru, Ogene Karo Etebo, and Henry Ekuru, they are 16th in the relegation zone with 28 points. Of course, 2 games yet to be played in the Turkish Super League. And then let's go to the English Premier League. The English Premier League, we have 3 match days left in the English top flight. We have first Nigerian player that pops up on the table would be Alex Iwobi, Calvin Bassett, and Mochukwueze. Fulham 11th with 48 points. Chrisantos Uche and Crystal Palace 15th with 43 points. We have Tula Rukudari, Nottingham Forest, Taiwo Awoniyi and Olaino 16th with 42 points. And then Tula Rukudari's Wolverhampton Wanderers, of course, have already been relegated. Still sits rock bottom of the league with 18 points. Maybe they can still pass Burnley before the end of the season and at least not finish as the bottom club in the league. But yes, that's how Nigerian players are doing in the English Premier League. Over in Spain, in the Spanish La Liga, we have Atletico de Madrid, Ademola Lookman in 4th place with 63 points. We have Valencia, Sadiq Umar in 12th place with 39 points. We have Sevilla, who got a crucial victory today. Chidera Ejuke and Akko Adams now out of the relegation zone. They have 37 points in 17th place. And of course, there are 4 matches yet to be played in the Spanish La Liga. So Sevilla out of relegation zone, but anything can still happen so far before the season runs out. Going to France and the French Ligue 1. In the French Ligue 1, we have Marseille, Tochukwu Unadi, Marseille, 7th with 53 points. They fell to a heavy defeat against Nantes, and that has allowed Monaco to go above them in the league. We have Moses Simon's Paris FC in 11th with 41 points. And then we have FC Nantes with Chidozie Awaziem in a relegation spot. They seem to be sure they're surely 5 points away from relegation with 2 games to go. So mathematically, they can still avoid relegation, but very unlikely. They are playing Lens next and then to lose on the final day of the season. But yes, Awaziem's team is in a relegation zone. So let's see how things shape up for him over there. And then in the Italian Serie A, of course, Inter were crowned champions of Italy over the past weekend. Shout out to them. We have Lazio with Fisayo Deli Bashiru, 8th in the league with 51 points, currently out of the European places and don't look like they can make Europe again this season. So that's unfortunate. Kingsley Hizbue and Maduka Okoye's Udinese currently 11th with 47 points. And then we have Cremonese with Dede Rokereke, 18th in the league, looking like a relegation team with 28 points. We have Hellas Verona with Gift Urban, 19th in the league with 20 points. And then Rafi Durosimi and Ebenezer Akinsomiro, 20th in the league, already confirmed to go down with Pisa. Very, very unfortunate that we have the 3 clubs are in the Italian relegation zone. We have Nigerian players in each of the 3 clubs. Cremonese can still beat relegation, although I wouldn't bet on them. So yes, that's how it's going. And then I think the remaining top 5 league that I haven't touched is the German Bundesliga. The German Bundesliga, of course, we have Suleiman Sani's RB Leipzig in 3rd place with 62 points. Nathan Teller's Bayer Leverkusen in 4th place with 58 points. Kevin Akpoguma's Hoffenheim in 6th place with 58 points. We have Uchenna Ogundu's Augsburg with 40 points in 9th place. Philippe Otele and Jonathan Renariga's Hamburger in 12th place with 34 points. Felix Agu and Victor Boniface's Werder Bremen just above the relegation zone, but I think they are confirmed safe with 32 points. Not quite confirmed safe actually, but unlikely to go down. But yes, they're just above the relegation zone, 15th place with 32 points. And yeah, that's how it is for the Nigerian players in the German Bundesliga. I would also just touch on the Belgian Jupiler Pro League to round up the Pro League in Belgium. Of course, right now we have Club Brugge with Rafael Onyedika. They're currently top in the league with 47 points. You know, they split into their championship round, whatever that they're doing in that side. So they're currently top with 47 points. In the relegation side of things, FC Denda, where Benjamin Frederick was playing before he got injured, they are 4th in that side, so looking like a relegation candidate, 25 points. So yes, that's pretty much how it's going. We have KRC Genk, Yiraso, 7th overall with 42 points, not fighting for the title, not going down, just playing for the vibes of it. So yes, that's how it is going in the Belgian Pro League. I know, okay, we have also, I forgot, OS Leuven with Chukwubuike Messi. They are 12th in the league, so not going up, but not fight for the title, but also not going down. Okay, so there we have it. No Nigerian is really fighting for the title in any of the top 5 leagues, which is rather unfortunate. But now so we see them now. At least we're going to get the title in Turkey. Simlai, what do you think about different players and how things are going for them in their leagues?
As usual, instead for us to be at the top end of the league, we are fighting relegation. That's just sad. But the guys will do whatever they want to do. What can we do? There's nothing we can actually do. I think our best bet to win the league, top 5 European league, is Atletico Madrid. That is actually what his fault, and the fault that he is like he's playing second team on the La Liga, playing Champions League first team, so he doesn't care about La Liga. So for
Yeah.
me, I just think that see, IoT, if we want to compete at a very high level, our players need to be playing in a competitive, club.
Mm.
I don't, I saw the semi-final of the Champions League between PSG and Bayern Munich. I was like, how I wish a Nigerian player is here. Beautiful football. This is where you get it. This is where you build winners. It's really, really unfortunate, honestly.
Oh yeah, I hear you. You're definitely not wrong at all. You are definitely not wrong at
Mm,
all. Okay, let's also talk quickly, Smilayi, about how things are going on the home front. Of course, we're heading into the final stretch, talking about the Nigeria Premier Football League.
mm.
We are heading into the final 2 match days of the season, and it's looking like a competitive one in the league. Of course, right now we still have Rangers International topping the league with 62 points after the 36 matches played. Rivers United in second place, 1 point behind them, 61 points. And then Shooting Stars are in third spot with 57 points. Of course, only 5 points separates the top three. So anybody technically can still win the NPFL this season. And then at the bottom of the table, Bayelsa United 20th with 40 points. Wiki Tourist 19th with 40 points. Remo Stars 18th with 43 points. And then Kun Khalifa 17th also with 43 points. But of course, only 3 points separate 18th to 13th, and only 6 points separate 13th to 20th. So anybody from 13th to 20th can still get relegated in the NPFL this season. Is the NPFL the most competitive league in the world? What do you say, Smith?
Yeah, very competitive. There is hardly any difference between the top team and the bottom team. That's why you can win the league this season and can go relegation next season. So it's you can set 20, 30 players. It's so unorganized league. So for me, anybody can win anybody. That's just that. So the level of, I would have loved that it's going to be pure one good outstanding team, in that league. But in my own opinion, there's no particular outstanding team there. I was pretty impressed that Rangers went to Yenegua this last weekend to beat Bayelsa United. That is like
Yeah.
champion quality. I like that. But still, I see there's no really, really big difference between all these guys. They're
So,
just
but who are you tipping? Who are you tipping to lift the title this season?
I think Rangers already show gods, to for them to go to Yenegua. I expect them not to win in Yenegua. For them to go to Yenegua and beat Bayelsa United. They and Rivers too did their own beat by beating Aqua United. Abia Warriors, Abia Warriors in Port Harcourt, 3-0. So for me, I think Rangers, because Rangers go be playing at home, this next week, and Rivers will go away. So I expect Rangers to extend the lead. So I think Amobi will probably be taking the league 2 times in 3 seasons.
How about this though? Let's look at this. So right now, Ikorodu City have one game in hand. They are playing tomorrow. If they win their game in hand, they will go to third place with 58 points. So they will jump above Shooting Stars. And on the final match day of the season, it is Ikorodu City versus Rangers in Lagos. So Rangers will be fighting for the title. Ikorodu will be trying to secure their spots in the I was about to say European, in the African competition, the continental competition.
Yeah.
How do you think that final match day is going to? Can Ikorodu City upset Rangers?
They can. No, I don't think. I think in the NPFL, naturally, if you are at home, you are favorite. In fact, even if you are bottom club and you are playing against the for number 1 team, you are favorite in Nigeria. When you are at home, you are favorite. So for me, I don't say upset. I think Ikorodu City, they're not a small team. They have some quite young, outstanding players that can actually deliver. So in my own opinion, I think they might probably actually even beat Rangers on that final day. So for me, with due respect to Ikorodu, it's better they don't go to the continent. They cannot finance it. See, they can't finance it. Except the Lagos State government want to now finance. Okay, you know what? We want to foot this bill. Amber, they only gave, with due respect to Amber, they only gave MFM $100,000 or so for the CAF Champions League. So, in my own opinion, I just think that I don't think they can probably actually They can probably finance the continent, in my opinion. So if with due respect to them, I think they should just allow 3SC to qualify for the CAF Conference Cup, because all these private clubs sometimes they will not be able to balance their books. It's going to be crazy. They can't be able to recruit players. It's going to be very, very hard for them. So, in my own opinion, I don't think they can actually what CAF is going to give them money, for qualifying for the CAF Conference Cup. But how many the Ikorodu want to? I don't think they have they can finance, traveling, chartered flights, Can they do that? It is very, very difficult. Yes.
All right. Let's see how things pan out as the season progresses. Let's see how things pan out. Interestingly enough, there are going to be 4 Lagos teams in the MPFL next season.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get an interview with somebody from Sporting Lagos for the podcast, because they had initially sent me a message, and I told them, what, I would like to actually have an interview with, I think, their head of brand or community, just to hear. I want to hear a little bit about what they are doing differently, how they think that they can take on the MPFL, and the significance of, having 4 teams from Lagos, in the MPFL, and what it means for their brand and everything. So yes, if I'm able to secure that, then we'll definitely.
How many teams?
I think it's 4 Lagos teams, because there's Inter Lagos, Sporting Lagos, Ikorodu City, and then
that's all.
So okay, it's 3, not 4.
3, not 4, yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it'll be an interesting one in the MPFL next season. But yes, let me even see my message with the guy.
I don't know if you can try and interview the Inter Lagos guy. Oh, they have beautiful stories to sell.
Oh, Larry Vigo.
Yeah.
I can actually. Larry Vigo. I have his phone number.
Yeah.
So that's actually somebody that I can just get in touch with.
He's got a beautiful stories to tell. I saw what they went through, in the NNL, to batter them and anyhow, but they just, one way or the other, they just called out for the MPFL, which now they have to look for a way to stay there. And the issue is that another thing is that Lagos doesn't have any other stadium approved by Nigeria than the Johnson Stadium in what's it called? Yes, than the Johnson Stadium.
So it's going to be a scheduling headache.
Yes, it will be a scheduling headache.
But they have to make you work one way or the other. Have to make it work one way or the other. But yes, that is that on the Nigeria Premier Football League. So yes, if you're a fan of any of the teams, hopefully your team can get a result. Okay, going back to Europe real quick, we had a bunch of Nigerian players who secured titles, trophies with their teams this season. So let me just acknowledge them and hail them very, very quickly. Congratulations to Moses Usor, Emmanuel Michael, and Adetunji Adeshina, who won the Austrian Cup with LASK. Moses Usor scored in the final as well. I think it's the first time in some 2 decades or thereabouts that they are securing the Austrian Cup or something like that. I might be wrong. But I thought I saw it that it was the first time in a long time. But yes, congratulations to the 3 Nigerian players winning that Austrian Cup title with LASK. We also had BK Hacken women won the inaugural UEFA Women's Europa Cup. I saw Halimatu Ayinde was there celebrating the players, but she did not get a medal because she was not registered for the competition, but she was still there on the final day to celebrate with her teammates. So yes, I'll still extend congratulations to her. I also want to extend congratulations to Super Falcons midfielder and now also a defender, Christy Ucheibe. She won the Campeonato Nacional, the Portuguese league title with SL Benfica Feminino. It is her and Benfica's 6th league title in a row. It is so incredible to me. 6 titles in a row. They somehow mess up in the cup, but they always win the league. They've been winning it since the season that she joined them, and she continues to play a key part for them as they progress and continue to do well in their league. So yes, congratulations to Christy Ucheibe for that one. Of course, we're looking forward to seeing her with the Super Falcons later this year when the WAFCON finally comes around. We also had Babajide and Shukurat Oladipo winning the Italian Serie A Femminile with their club AS Roma Women. So congratulations to our two Super Falcons, Rinsola Babajide and Shukurat Oladipo. Shukurat Oladipo, of course, has been a key player for AS Roma throughout this season. Babajide Rinsola has been in and out of the squad, so not so important in their overall story this season. But nevertheless, they are both celebrating the league title. And I think it's a very, very big one for them because, the Italian Serie A Femminile it's not an easy league. It's not an easy league to win. And of course, they are finally being able to overthrow a team like Juventus after giving up the title last season. They won it in 23-24. And then Juventus won it in 24-25, and then AS Roma back on top. It's pretty much those two teams that win Italian Serie A Femminile. But yes, congratulations to our two Super Falcons for winning that one. We also extend congratulations to Francis Uzoho winning the Cypriot League title with AC Omonia. Of course, we know that Uzoho is their cup goalkeeper, so he doesn't really play in the league, but he's their substitute goalkeeper, and he has secured this title with them nevertheless. So congratulations to Francis Uzoho for that one. And then more Super Eagles, in Terry Murphy and Zedu Sanusi have won the Portuguese League title, the Primeira Liga, with FC Porto. Zedu Sanusi and Terry Murphy have won the Portuguese League with FC Porto. So yes, Similai, which of our champions are you celebrating from Murphy, Sanusi, Uzoho, Babajide, Oladipo, Ucheibe, Moses Usor? Who are you most excited for winning the title over this past weekend?
Shout out to Christy Ucheibe for winning, but we keep on saying congratulations to Christy every season. Christy, I don't know exactly how many trophies Christy already got in her cabinet. I don't know who is the most successful.
She's the second most successful Nigerian player behind only Azeez Toshuala.
Yeah. So it's so that's why sometimes I didn't even say that message, say Christy, because she's always winning. But after, shout out to Teddy Murphy and Sanusi. Towards the end, before he got injured, Sanusi played a vital role in FC Porto's Portuguese championship win. Really, really impressed with them. Also, shout out to Moses Ozoh too, and Emmanuel Marquez. Emmanuel Marquez is like not really playing regularly for his club side. It's still like in between the B team and the first team. But shout out to them too. But for me, I think the guys in Portugal, because if you look at the win, those in Portugal seems to be the one that play for the better clubs. Ahead of better league and better clubs, ahead of the ones that actually won. With due respect to them too, but I think shout out to Murphy and Sanusi.
Yeah. And I think it's FC Porto's first time winning the Portuguese League since the 2021/2022 season. So it's something that has been difficult for them. Sporting have won it, Benfica have won it, and now FC Porto have returned to the throne under their new leadership with Andres Villas-Boas, now they are sporting director. So yes, congratulations to our two Super Eagles players. Always nice to see Nigerian players win titles. And we're still expecting some more to roll in before the season wraps up. Of course, Frank Onyeka already won the EFL championship, but just that happened last week, not this past week.
Yeah.
So we haven't touched on it. And just since we're talking about Moses Usor with LASK, let me just take the super chat comments that we have from John Jones. He's asking, what do you guys think of Moses Usor? Smilai, do you want to answer him?
You should go and play in top 5 European League. I'm tired of all these players played in there. Look at that boy. The boy, is it Durosimi?
Rafi Durosimi, yes.
Yes. So some of these boys, look at the boy that they're projecting now in Nigeria, the boy that plays in Hungary,
Dele Yusuf.
Dele Yusuf. He should say super. They should go and play in France. So all these guys, I don't have any opinion about it. They should go and play in top 5 European League or top 6.
Okay, I will say I give credit to Moses Usor. He's having a fine season.
Yeah, he's doing well. But Super, it's time to say that we talk about Super Eagles. No.
I understand. We're not talking about Super Eagles, just in general. Like you can only beat who is in front of you. And right now, what's in front of him is Austrian League. And he's doing well there this season. He's having a good time. If I look at, I don't know, let me quickly look at the UEFA country coefficients to see the league ranking to see where the Austrian league even ranks amongst the UEFA leagues. Let me just look at that very, very quickly. So we have Austria as the 17th best league in Europe. The 17th best league. So I give him some credit. I mean, people are asking.
What about Turkey?
Turkey is 8th.
Mhm.
Turkey is 8th. So 17 best leagues. Obviously, not high competition. Is ranked even lower than Cyprus. So obviously it's not high competition. But he's having a decent season, and hopefully this season that he's having now can help him to get interest from a bigger team in a better league. At least from here, if he can progress, even if he's not a top 5 European league, if he can progress to like a Belgium, if he can progress to like a Turkey, if he can progress to a Netherlands, then we can see him at a higher level. Sorry, Turkey is 9th, not 8th. That was a mistake. 8th is Belgium. So yeah, shout out to Moses Usor. He's doing well, and let's just see how he progresses. And for people that might be wondering, Sweden is 19th. Scotland is 18th.
Look at like how they played in Austria before. For Austria, when is it? Like how they.
Yes, did he play Austria? He could have.
Yeah, he plays in Austria when. Yeah, he scored so many goals. I think he was probably their best player that year.
But yeah, it's oh yes, yeah, right. He played for Austria Vienna, like
Yeah.
Before going to Man City.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So there was this big noise then when they brought him against South Africa. I remember in Uyo. So since then, I don't think he got any opportunity again to play for the national team. So it's just that sometimes you have to just seize the opportunity. That is it. If you are coming to national team, because I can see some people scratching their heads talking here. If you are coming to the national team, if you have played underage before, it's different from when you are making your debut. National team is different. For example, now this Sani Sulaiman, if he plays national team now, it's going to be different from Ugundu. Is it Ugundu of Osborg? It's going to be different. Yeah. The experience is going to be there. He knows exactly what to expect. Fredericks played under 20. He knows exactly what to expect in the national team. So him playing different things does not really matter. Except you are extremely what? Very, very good. That's why I said, go and prove yourself. When you prove yourself, come to the national team.
And you know what I'm even just going to say? Look, Benjamin Frederick is the exception, is not the rule. I know that for everybody that ever hears in the future about bringing in a player that has not earned their call-up, whatever the case may be, they would always want to point at Benjamin Frederick and say, okay, but look at Frederick.
Yes, now.
He is the exception, not the rule. Because it's worked out well with Benjamin Frederick, one player. Are we going to ignore all the Aki Amoos, all the Samson Tijanis, all the other players? I don't want to insult anybody, but all the other players that they brought that did not work out. Are we going to ignore that and just say, oh, but Benjamin Frederick worked out? So that's the thing. I understand where you're coming from, but I'm still a believer that people should earn and deserve their call-ups to the national team. We see players from other nations. I know Nigeria is not the strongest football nation in the world, but we see players from other nations that are already doing well in the Premier League, but they are still playing on that 21 football. They are still playing on that 23 until they earn a spot in their league's top this thing. Atubolu that we're shouting Super Eagles is genuine at 21 that he has been playing and playing. So, I understand it, but I also think that people should work their way towards getting call-ups. We have players in lower leagues here and there that get called up to the national team, and most of the time they do not work out. Shout out to Benjamin Frederick. He has worked out and he looks very, very good for us now and for the future. But I see both sides of it, and Frederick is the exception. He's definitely not the rule. Okay, let's move forward very quickly. The EFL Championship season, at least the regular season of the championship, also rounded up this past weekend. So let me just touch on that very, very quickly. Of course, we already know that Frank Onyeka won the league title with Coventry City. Chuba Akpom also got promoted in second place with Ipswich, if you consider Akpom to still be a potential Super Eagles player. He never got called when he was in excellent form. We have Millwall with potentially future Super Eagles player Femi Azeez finishing third and qualifying for the playoffs. We have Hull City, Shemi Ajayi of Hull City, also qualifying for the playoffs. They will be facing Millwall, so one of those teams only can get to the final and potentially get promoted to the English Premier League. Wrexham, also Okonkwo's Wrexham, only narrowly missed out. They bottled it, in my own opinion, and allowed Hull City to get ahead of them. They finished 7th, so they'll be playing in the Championship again next season. Galatasaray Samuels, Birmingham City finished 10th in the league, staying in the Championship. And then we had relegation. Rather, we had Blackburn's Ryan Alibiosh's Blackburn finishing 20th, 52 points, so staying in the Championship. And then relegated, we had Joe Aribo's Leicester City. His parents' club are in the playoffs, but his on loan club are getting relegated and will be playing in the EFL League One next season. Leicester City's downfall over the past few seasons has been quite a shame. Of course, we still remember when Leicester won the league title with Riyad Mahrez and Kante and everybody back then. But it's been 10 years. It's actually a very long time ago. But now they've dropped off and they're going to be playing in the League One next season. So that's how it is for Nigerian players as far as the EFL Championship is concerned. We'll watch the playoffs and see who is able to get promoted potentially to the English.
Who do you tip
for promotion?
Mm-hmm.
I honestly tip Millwall. I think they have a good team. I think they've had a good season. Hull City just barely scraped it. I've followed Hull City a lot because of Shemi Ajayi this season. I think they are too inconsistent to beat Millwall. I think it's going to go down to the
yeah. For me, I think Middlesbrough is a potential.
Middlesbrough potentially
inconsistency.
Yeah. But I think Millwall will be in the playoff. Will be in the playoff final. Middlesbrough Southampton is going to be a very tricky one. It's going to be a good game. Middlesbrough beat Southampton earlier in the season 4-0, so Middlesbrough probably have the edge over Southampton in terms of head-to-head. But we'll have to see how that one pans out. They finished on the same number of points. Southampton only finished above them with 1 goal difference. So very, very evenly matched teams. But I honestly think Millwall will beat either of those two teams, though. Millwall have a good run of form going into the end of the season. They really picked up towards the end of the season. They didn't lose for their last 5 matches. So yeah, I just think that when it does happen, Millwall will probably go up. The most expensive game in football, the Championship playoffs. So the final. So we'll see how that one goes. And then yes, I said for the English League One, congratulations to Gabriel Osho and Cardiff City. They got promoted in 2nd place. So they'll be playing in the EFL Championship next season. And then we have Stockport County. We have Joseph Olowo of Stockport County. They are in the playoffs. They finished 3rd in the league. And then I think that's pretty much where it is for Nigerian players in the English League One. Kelechi Iheanacho's Barnsley finished in 15th place. Iheanacho finally started to get some minutes in the last 3 matches of the season, probably so that they can put him in the shop window. But yes, that's that as far as the AFL League One is concerned. But we'll monitor the playoffs. We'll see if anybody else is able to climb up the ladder. But at least we know that one player is going to be joining the Premier League next season, as we have one that is leaving. Okay. Let us move forward. Let me see what the comments are saying. Is there any comments here that I need to take? No super chat comments, but some interesting comments. Adetunji is a member of the channel. He says Peter EJ was scoring goals like water in Sweden, but he couldn't do anything when he was invited to the Super Eagles. So just, I think, piggybacking on what you were talking about with Larry Waju Kayode, that's what he's saying there. Okay, let us move forward in the conversation today. Smelai, the Falconets were in action over the weekend and they secured a first leg victory over Malawi in the Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifiers after wasteful is a good word. Wasteful first half. They were able to score an early goal in the second half and then seal a 2-0 victory over Malawi. Now, I mean, they have 1 foot in the competition already as they are heading to the second leg. The second leg will be taking place on May 9th. What do you think of that victory? The Falconets defeating Malawi in the under-20 Women's World Qualifier.
Yeah, good. At least you have to take an advantage. That's it. But the team needs a lot of work. The first half wasn't a very, very good game. And second half changed, but in IoT, this is another thing that with our national team coaches, I don't think Coach Ajuku scouted Malawi. I think he just used the first half to judge them and change the tactics slightly in the second half to score goals. So this is why you have to try and empower these guys more. Get the videos for him. Is his responsibility to get the videos of Malawi or the FA?
I mean, it's not the FA, it's the coaching staff. I don't know which coaches he has or which tools that they have.
Yeah.
But I want to assume that maybe he will have access to some videos, and everything.
It looks as if he doesn't know exactly what to get, from the Malawians. But I can see the way he now spread the play in the second half to see exactly how international would capitalize, against that. Because the Malawians are not good. They were there for the taking. So for me, I don't know the reason why. I don't even know how they got into that fourth round. But for me, I just think that we need to win. We need to win the second leg, because it's going to be disaster. Because concede one goal in the second leg, panic start coming, and before you know it, it's 2-2. So I'd have loved a 3-0, victory, but those guys are just so wasteful. It's just so wasteful. I don't know the reason why. Somebody, I know that she plays for Adetunji now. Amoni Shidi cannot come and play that team because those girls cannot even score goals for their life. The one that they scored, the goalkeeper was already out, so they have to place oh my days, so wasteful. In fact, I don't know, I don't know how to call this. So this Falconer team is not giving me the vibes that the Oshoala gave me when I actually was younger. I don't know, maybe the talent. Because there's also, even before Oshoala, we had the Serie Opanoze. I watched her in her formative years. I watched Ebere Oji. I watched Francisca Odega. You will see a particular player that will give you joy to watch. I watched Ngozi Okobi. You see a player that gives you joy, but all of them just looks like the same level, and they are putting something. I want to beg you play ball first before you start. Play ball first. Let us see you play. It's just I don't want to judge them based on even the Ajibade said they don't do well, but there was a girl. Is it in that midfield that play? It was I saw Chidima Okeke. She did well. I saw Chidima Okeke. Chimamaka Nadozie. I said Ajibade. You can see the flashes there. Okay, for the future. When you see it's exactly how Rashida would drive with the ball. Oh, if they train these guys more, this will be very, very good. We can see those ones. But these people see that they don't arrive already. They should play ball. So I wish the coach best of luck. Ifeanyi Kaides is very good, but in my own opinion, I just think that these guys are just, the coach, they need more training, in my opinion. And if possible, this man should open up and invite foreign-based players to join them.
That's an interesting topic. We'll get into foreign-based players a little. Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk about just quickly on the Nigerian under-20. Just to recap, the last under-20 World Cup we lost in the round of 16 against Japan. After finishing second in our group behind Germany, so they are hoping to qualify for the 2026 under-20 Women's World Championship, and hopefully they can. Hopefully they can do better this time around. And Ifeanyi Kaides, she's been the one that has been scoring goals for them of recent. But again, I get the sentiments that you have when you talk about the players not exciting enough and not making you feel like, okay, this is somebody that will be watching and still be celebrating in 5, 6, 7 years time for the Super Falcons as well, not just for the under-20. And I think we've spoken about this on the podcast before about how over the last few years, the talents from the under-20 that have been able to rise to a good level, they are few and far in between. We have maybe the likes of Tosin Dimei, Deborah Abiodun, but a lot of them, even the ones that got hype, like the Okpeyemi Ajakayes or the Esther Onyene's days. They've not been able to really rise to that level. When they get to Europe, sometimes maybe the stage is too big for them, or they get swallowed by the level of competition. So I get the sentiments that you have. Let's just keep supporting them.
But I want to ask you a question. Sorry.
Yeah.
I know that you watched this girl called Sebastian Flourish.
Sebastian Flourish, yes.
When she played the first under 20, do you think any of them was as good as her?
Not as exciting as she was, no.
That's why I opened.
Yeah.
And she didn't even make it.
Flourish was very exciting, and
Yes.
she's in Turkey right now, and she's still not making the cut right there in Turkey.
Yes. Even Esther Oyindeze, she was.
She was also quite exciting, yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I'm talking about. It's not as if I'm trying to slag them. It's just that is it because the coach cannot comb the country again, or we don't have a game in that country? We should tell ourselves the truth. It's not because all these things, sometimes people say I'm too strict. It's not too strict. It's because of what we know about the country. So because people like to lie to themselves and still be happy. I can't join those bandwagons. I beg.
All right. Shout out to the under 20 women's national team. Hopefully they can get the result in the second leg, May 9th. So please watch that. We showed the first leg on Eagle Tracker, actually, if anybody was.
Yeah, it was. I watched it on Facebook.
So maybe if we're able to stream the second leg,
it will be live on YouTube because they actually that game on YouTube.
Yeah, so we'll see that one as well. So yes, thanks to everyone that tuned in, and shout out to the Falconet. Okay, let's move forward. Let's go back to club football, men's club football. Oh boy, it's getting to the latter stages, or we're already in latter stages of the UEFA Champions League, the UEFA Europa League, and of course the UEFA Conference League. The good thing is that there is at least one Nigerian player in each of those three competitions. Will a Nigerian player win? We have to wait and see. But first of all, we have in the UEFA Champions League, Ademola Lookman's Atletico de Madrid. They are going to London. They are going to the Emirates to take on champions elect in England. Arsenal.
Which champions elect? Wait till Sunday.
Champions elect Arsenal. 1-1 draw in the first leg at the Metropolitano. Honestly, Atletico Madrid should have won that game. Lookman should have won that game for Atletico de Madrid. But now, do you think Atletico can get a result in London? What do you think?
I don't think so. See, it's a set to just be hopeful. I would have won Atletico Madrid to beat Arsenal, but I just think that they missed the opportunity in Spain, in my own opinion. And Lookman wasn't clinical, that day. Though he didn't have a very bad game, But for me, I just think that it wasn't clinical enough in that game. And I think they will do their best in London, but they say they're changing hotels. They are doing all these hanky-panky games. And they rested for 1 week. So I think that might play a factor. But see, no matter how cow they struggle with slaughter, they go to slaughter. I just think that Arsenal will still look for a way to win that game by hook or by crook, by corner kick or by anything. I think one goal will just enter, and they can start the game. Right? See, that's one crazy thing about football. And they give Saliba a red card because the way they give Kubasi red card, that things can just change. And 2-0 Atletico Madrid, Arsenal, then 2-0 against West Ham, Arsenal, home, everything. So things can just change. But for me, I just think Arsenal. If I have my money, I'll put on Arsenal. Do I?
No, see, if Arsenal has one hater, that one hater is me. But even I can still be objective sometimes. Realistically, I think Arsenal will get the results. I was quite impressed and surprised as how well Atletico Madrid actually did in the first leg. And for me, when you outplay an opponent like that in your home and you don't take your chances to win that game, you are making it really difficult for yourself going to the second leg away from home. Arsenal will be prepared. Their mentality will be high. Now that Man City have dropped points, they will be more excited, more determined that the double is still on. They'll come with everything. And while Arsenal might not have as much energy as Atletico, because Atletico are able to rest all their players, whereas Arsenal cannot do that in the Premier League. So they might not have the same level of energy, but they would have a lot of desire, I think. And the way Arsenal have been playing this season, they don't make it look pretty at all. No, they do not. but they find a way to win. And that has always been a mark of champions, finding a way to win even when you're not playing your best football. Now, do I think Arsenal will win the Champions League? No, God forbid. They will lose to Bayern or PSG, whoever they face. But I do think that they will probably be playing in it will be their first Champions League since the final, since they lost to Barca, or have they reached final since then?
Barca.
Since they lost to Barca that time, Giuliano Belletti.
Belletti, yeah.
It's like Arsenal fans. God knows that I feel for you guys and the struggle that you've been through as in your lives. Because what do you mean you've not played in Champions League final since, was that 2006, 9? What year was it? 2006.
2006. Just going to the 2006 World Cup. It's 20 years now.
20 years.
I remember that day.
Profound.
I supported Barcelona before I was celebrating. The rest of that Arsenal just going to go off the TV after we won. It was I pity them honestly, but for me, I just see that if the bottle is this year, I think it's probably village people. Everything is settled. Look at it now. The part they are in the Champions League that's why I see that it's like they are giving them a favor. Nobody did it.
Yeah.
You have to go and face Sporting when some people are firing. Even if it's Liverpool that this Arsenal face,
it would have been difficult.
It's going to be a problem. Even if I'm talking about just Liverpool that is being beaten by everybody. Even if it's Chelsea, but to Chelsea, let's forget Chelsea. So
Arsenal will flog Chelsea, man.
Arsenal will flog Chelsea. Honestly, this Chelsea, I just do. See, when I see people talk about Chelsea, I scroll quickly. I don't want to hear any news about Chelsea until this season finish, because I have emotion, I have attachment with them. I don't want to hear anything about them.
Chelsea, I just honestly, in my mind, I'm just like, there's just fast forward, may this season just end, because even that FA Cup final, Man City go flog the FA Cup final. Man City will flog Chelsea in the final. Well, we're not talking about Chelsea, we're talking about Let's Go Madrid and Ademola Lookman. So I'm wishing him all the best, man. I hope that Lookman comes in with his best form. Hopefully, he can get us a goal so that we can celebrate him. If he can knock Arsenal out, I'll be excited. I'll be happy. I'll be very, very happy if they can knock Arsenal out. But my head tells me that Arsenal will probably win against Atletico Madrid, even if it's 1-0. My head tells me that Arsenal will probably win. But I'm supporting Ademola Lookman. I'm supporting Atletico Madrid. I want them to knock Arsenal out. Let them go and focus on Premier League, and let's see what happens in the Premier League as far as Arsenal is concerned.
Sorry, IoT. This person, NSC Sport TV. I don't know, maybe he didn't use Super Chat. I just want to respond to his comment. I don't know, maybe I can do that.
Where's
it's NSC. Is it called NSC?
Yeah, it says I watched Lagos FA Cup for women and I saw exciting.
Just see, that is the problem I'm talking about. Lying to yourself and still be happy with it. Some people they will lie to themselves. See, I watched the Ogun State FA Cup final between Beyond Limit and Abeokuta Bombers. Abeokuta Stormers. They're a very strong team. Beyond Limit seems to be the best academy in Nigeria.
Yeah.
The level of play was not as good as secondary school back then. See, after them, I now watched Barcelona under 15 play. The difference is clear. What we are saying is just the talent level. I think there's something wrong somewhere. Maybe it's probably coaching education. I don't know, maybe we are talking about coaches today. Maybe it's probably coaching education. But for me, I just think that if we are being realistic to ourselves, hey, MPFL, they do well. I watch MPFL every day. I can compare to Tanzanian League. It's way better than the MPFL. You will see quality players. So sometimes, maybe probably what they show us, we're happy, but you cannot compare the standard with what you see in other countries. And that is where the problem is. You must be able to compare it with what you see with other countries. Can you compete? Ethiopia League also say, we get players now, but can Ethiopia League compete with even Tanzania or Angolan League? No. They just say, this, because maybe probably you are not a talent sporter. You don't know exactly the level that is required to play football, high-level football. So for me, I look at those things, it's just that all those beyond limit players, they're not there.
Hmm.
They're not there.
All right, all right. Okay, let's talk about the UEFA Europa League. We have one Nigerian player talking about Ola Aino. His Nottingham Forest side will be taking on Aston Villa in the second leg of their semi-final tie. Of course, Nottingham Forest have a 1-0 advantage from the first leg. Their key player, Morgan Gibbs White, suffered a nasty head injury today against Chelsea. So we don't know if for sure he's going to be able to play in that game on Thursday. Well, there's maybe 3 days to see what happens. They will give him probably some kind of head protection because I saw he had to get stitches on his head after colliding with
Mm-hmm.
Robert Sanchez. So if Morgan Gibbs White cannot play, that might make things slightly more difficult for Nottingham Forest. They're not playing Chelsea. So Aston Villa, even though Aston Villa are messing up right now, but they allowed Spurs beat them. But yeah, in the Europa League semi-final, Forest against Aston Villa. Do you think Nottingham Forest have enough to take it over the line and to get to a European final? What do you think?
Gives White or no gives White, they will beat Aston Villa. I think Aston Villa are tired now. I think that's what Emery said, in the press conference that why did you change players? Why did you change players against Fulham? Fulham beat us now. So I changed players. They beat us again. So it's not about the players. So we should just put the arguments. I think it's just the team is not big enough. It's okay to compete. So I think they don't tire. I saw Morgan Rogers. The guy don't tire. All those early season blah 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 blah. He don't tire. And this Pereira is giving Thunder Forest extra fire. Honestly, I saw them. The way they beat Sunderland like a thief. Like I don't know. So for me, I think the worst will be a draw in Villa Park.
You said it was the draw. Okay, let's see. I mean, I'm also tipping Nottingham Forest to do well. They have momentum. Their team B just beat Chelsea. Of course, they won the first leg. It's going to be a very interesting battle against Aston Villa. Premier League clashes in Europe are always interesting because at the end of the day, it's still two English sides that are going up against each other. And every time that they faced Forest this season, or that Forest have faced Aston Villa this season, it has always been quite an interesting affair. Aston Villa beat them first time in the league, then they beat us. They drew the second game, then they won the Europa League match. So it can go either way in this semi-final, But obviously, I'm biased towards the Nigerian players, so I'm really hoping that Ola Aino's Forest can get a result and we can see them in the final of the Europa League. Because if they win the Europa League, Nottingham Forest can be playing Champions League next season. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. So we're looking forward to watching that one on Thursday. And then, of course, in the Conference League, just for mentioning sake, Prosper Obaz Shakhtar Donetsk are facing Crystal Palace in their own semi-final second leg. They have a 3-1 first leg deficit, and it just does not look like they have what it takes to keep up with the English side. So for me, I'm going to call it in. I think that no matter how much of a fight that they put up in the second leg, Crystal Palace will see out that victory. I don't think they expected what came, with Ismail Assar and everything in that first leg, Strand Larsen, So I think that Shakhtar Donetsk are out of it. They put up a good fight. They've done well, For me, any team, playing in the Ukraine with everything that has happened, the Ukrainian league has obviously taken a dip over the last few years. And for them to at least get to the semi-final of a European club competition, I think it's a good thing for them. I mean, remember Shakhtar in their heyday, playing in the Champions League, doing quite well there, getting to knockout rounds in some seasons. So we understand that in a condition they make things look like this for them right now, where they're even in the Conference League. But yes, congratulations for me, Crystal Palace on advancing to the final of the Conference League. I mean, but talking about English teams, imagine if Arsenal win Champions League, Forest win Europa, and then Palace win Conference. That would be amazing for England.
Yeah, that's good, very good for England. It's going to be very good. In fact, the bragging will now be because if Arsenal could win the Champions League, they won Forest maybe probably the Europa League. The next thing is the World Cup because they say that if Arsenal wins the Premier League and the Champions League and also the World Cup for England, that they should give Declan Rice double Ballon d'Or.
Declan Rice.
Yes. that's it. This you talking about. So, in my opinion, it's going very good for the league, which I think is not the best league.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it's not the best talent, but overall, you can compete.
Yeah. Mm. Okay. Okay. That's that. That's that. All right. Let us move forward. Meanwhile, let's talk about coaching situation in Nigeria. The under 17, under 20, under 23 jobs are still open. And we have different coaches that are trying to get their feet through the door. What can you tell us about those job openings and the coaches that are looking for appointment or employment there?
I think the CAF published their criteria, what you have to have for you to coach national team in Africa. But I don't know how it works. So yeah, if you are into football, we don't have the requirements. In fact, the only person that is qualified to start on the touchline for the year 17 is your very good friend Ebobo. Is it Ebobo?
Yeah, Bobo.
Ebobo, yes. It's the only one qualified. So all those guys you see there, Shola Adegun, Olumide, the coach of Beyond Limit, they don't have certificates to stand on the touchline. So it's just very, very bad. So I know that they're trying to bring young coaches together, but I think it's just very, very bad. If the requirement is CAF A, and all of them are having, in fact, I think Shola Adegun, I think he had CAF C or so. So it's just too far, compared to the requirement, from CAF. So, and there's also been rumor too that Coach Makaiba will be the coach of under 20. His track record is not very good, but I don't know the I don't know the reason behind his appointment, because sometimes NFF need to come out and explain these things to us. That okay, why are you appointing Makaiba? What did he do to deserve the appointment? What did he do? Because that's how they told us that Ali Zubairu, he won the FA Cup with Economic Warriors, and he did so badly, in under 20. So, for NFF to come out and tell us the criteria for employing these coaches. So now, we don't have options. We have to look at the ones that have certificates that are the one that can go in the job. And I'm hearing that Samson Sasia is the favorite to take over the under 23 job based on his track record, when he was there, about 10 years ago. I think he coached the team in Brazil. He also coached the team in Beijing. That was a long time ago too. I think 2008 or so. So I don't know exactly, but for me, I just think that we don't have coaches that can, probably as you would take a job in Africa, and I think it's very, very sad for Nigeria.
Hmm. Hmm. Very, very well said. So, let me ask you something about the requirements from CAF, because I believe that CAF says you need CAF A or other confederations pro license.
Mm-hmm.
So, does this mean that if somebody has a UEFA B license, they are not going to be allowed to coach,
No,
a national team?
No, coach, won't be able to coach. For example, now, if you look at the for under 17, they said that CAF, is it CAF A and other confederations A.
Okay,
Under
just
17
under 17, under 20, under 23, all CAF A or other confederations pro for the head coach.
for the head coach. That means even your friend is not even eligible because he's got UEFA A license. I don't think
Yes,
it's
so
going.
it's not even pro. Yeah,
It's not even pro. It's not even pro. So that means that who is going to be on touchline?
because that's why I asked, because I'm like, realistically, like, I mean, I'm not trying to devalue Africa, but you would want to assume that somebody that has a UEFA A license is probably, as well
Yes.
trained as somebody that has a CAF A
Mm-hmm.
license, But if they are saying it needs to be a UEFA Pro license,
Mm-hmm.
it makes it even more difficult for us to find. Maybe we're gonna hire some foreign coach somewhere to come and coach
Yeah.
our national team.
When they are doing their coaching master class or so in Cairo, they normally invite coaches like Ibenge, a DR Congo coach, Alois Cisse, Pito Musimani, South Africa. These are like 5 or so. There's no Nigerian there. There's no Nigerian there. See,
Which license does Samson Ziasia have?
I think it's got. This American. So I think it's American. I don't know I think it's American thing that he gets. So it's just bad. It's so bad that They cannot even announce anything. It's just so bad that we don't have the requirement. So all of them, in fact, NFF should make sure that before you coach an MPFS side, you must have certificates.
From at least the NIS.
No, even the NIS is not working again.
From what? Okay, so to coach
At least
MPFL.
CAF B.
At least
CAF B.
No, I agree.
CAF B. CAF B, you can't coach without certificates. This boy, this Shola Adegun you're talking about, he was employed as Gombe United, as a play two coach, as a CAF C holder. As a CAF C holder. That is too low. As a CAF C holder, even Ogunmaide just got CAF B. It was CAF C. It was CAF C. So everything, in fact, I even heard about the coach that's trying to manipulate his certificate, and it's just so bad. I don't know exactly why we're like this. I don't know. In the whole of Nigeria, even these men, talking about women's coaches now, how many of them get certificate? And there's this thing from FIFA, remember? That you have to employ.
A woman,
Yes. How many of Nigeria get CAF A and CAF B license now? How many women coaches? It's just so bad the way things they go. I don't understand again. IoT. Are we even a footballing country? We don't have any. Everybody can just stand up one day, just wake up on the wrong side of the bed, say he's doing coaching. There's no criteria. There's no requirements. See, those two coaches going to the continent. I'm talking about Philippe George and Ilechukwu. They don't have certificate to say on the touchline. They don't have the required documents. They don't have it. So we're just going to go there without our coaches again. They don't have the certificates to be on the touchline. With this new CAF requirement, there's no certificate. This Aduku we're talking about, he just did his CAF B. They don't have it. It's just CAF B. We want CAF A. It's just sad. I think we need to, people should be aware of these things, and it's just so sad. I don't know why you want to apply for a job that requires, I imagine you apply for a job without certificate. Is it possible in Canada? You are putting CV together with that certificate.
It depends on the skills. Depends on the skills that you have.
No, without certificates, the skill that is required, you don't have it.
No, but I understand what you're saying. Like even here, like even barbers have a barbering license.
Yes.
Everything. So you still have to be able to do the job. It's rather unfortunate, and hopefully these things would make coaches in Nigeria to step up and realize that they need to advance themselves, because a lot of the time, maybe because of this lack of restrictions, this lack of these requirements, a lot of people have not really felt the need to go and improve themselves. And that's something that we've spoken about severally, even when we talk about coaches that want to coach the Super Eagles. And it's like, you've not even made an effort to go and improve yourself. You don't stay active. You're not going for courses. You're not going for training. So hopefully this would at least inspire them to go and get better as coaches. When they realize that they actually cannot get these jobs until they do so. I think it's a really big one. It's a shame that we do not have people that already qualify. But hopefully we're going to see that change over the next, I don't know, few months, year, however long it takes for them to get these licenses. But yeah, I agree with you. It's definitely a big shame.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's that on the coaching situation as far as those teams are concerned. Let's see. Let us move forward very, very quickly. Let's talk about the Super Falcons of Nigeria, the road to LA 2028. Talking about the Summer Olympic Games taking place in the USA. We've seen our path, and our path not too clear. but nothing is impossible for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. In round two of the qualifiers, we'll be taking on Sudan or Comoros. Those two teams, seem fairly comfortable, at least on paper. And then if we're able to get past either of those sides we face, we will now potentially face Morocco or DR Congo in round three. Of course, Morocco, we have a rivalry with them. They beat us in the two WAFCONs ago. We beat them in the last WAFCON. So it's going to be interesting to see how that one plays out. And then if we do get past Morocco or DR Congo, we potentially face Mali or Senegal in round four. Two teams that, of course, you should expect us to be able to beat. And if we do get past them, we will face either Ivory Coast, Cameroon, or two other nations. But I picked out Ivory Coast and Cameroon as the two tougher teams that we might face in round five, just to qualify for the Summer Olympic Games. So it's been like, what are your thoughts on these draws? Potentially facing Morocco in the second round three, quote unquote, but our own second round, and then Mali, Senegal, Ivory Coast, Cameroon. Only one of these teams will be going to the Olympic Games. What do you think about that?
It's tough. It's tough, especially the Morocco game. We are used to all this fire big approach. And the current level, I have to be honest here, because I don't care how you see the current level of the national team doesn't give me anything to be confident that this team can actually qualify for the Olympic Games. I saw the game between Benin Republic, the both legs, despite that it's Benin Republic, we didn't do well in those games. And Benin Republic is not Morocco. So against a home-based Cameroon team, we didn't do well there. So, if you look at these things, you had 1, 2, 3 together, it seems like a DNQ. But you said something that the national team can say, you know what, we want to compete, we want to do well. Let's see exactly, how we can actually go and perform well. I don't think the NFF will do enough, or the NLC will do enough to organize this girl and get them ready for those qualifiers. So if you add all those things together, it is very, very tough for them to qualify. But I hope that things will change. Maybe perhaps the qualifiers is probably after the WAFCON, if I'm not mistaken. So, so I'm not saying that the guys should not do well during WAFCON. For example, now if the team did not perform well, there could be changes. But if the team probably defends the WAFCON again, people think that things are fine, but it's just not fine. I just think that if we don't prepare well, we'll not qualify for the Olympics.
No, and you're not wrong at all. Like, our preparation is going to be very, very, very key. The big one there is, playing against Morocco potentially in our second round. It is going to be tough. It is really going to be tough. And we need to be able to get the better of them. We know that Morocco will prepare. We know that they'll be ready for Nigeria. They would want to get their revenge on the Super Falcons of Nigeria, especially after beating them on home turf, at the last WAFCON final. So it's going to be a very tricky one. I mean, who knows what the story might even look like, because we're going to have to play another WAFCON before it gets to the qualifiers. So I think it's something that we need to be very aware of, and NFF needs to give these girls the best preparation possible, because if they continue that the way that they've been doing in recent times, it's not going to be good. Look, I know they won the last WAFCON, but ever since then, it's almost as if we've rested on our laurels. We've said, okay, we won, and we've not cared to really advance ourselves. Yes, we're winning games against likes of Benin Republic, but we still drew one game. These are not teams that we should even be having a closely fought contest with at all. Like you rightly mentioned, against Cameroon in those two friendlies, they did not really look good in either of those games, even the game that they won. And that's pretty much what we've had since the last WAFCON in July of last year. So 4 games coming into about 12 months. It's going to be a really, really tricky one. And just so that people are aware, the second round, which is our first round in the competition, in the qualifying tournaments, will be between the 5th and 13th of October 2026. And then round 3, where we might face Morocco, will be between 23rd of February and 6th of March 2027. Ultimately, we would know who qualifies in December of 2027. So it's still a long time before the qualifying tournament for the Olympic Games. Everything is sorted out. But, I mean, it's not an easy road for us at all if we are to qualify for the 2028 Olympic Games as far as the women's football is concerned. Talking about CAF, another thing that has been released is the timetable for the Africa Cup of Nations 2027. We don't have the full list yet. We don't have the draws yet, but we know the start date and the final date. The tournament will kick off on Saturday, June 19th, 2027, and the final will be played on Saturday, 17th of July, 2027, with the draw for the qualifiers taking place on 19th of May, 2026. So in just about 2 weeks from now. Smilai, what are your thoughts? This AFCON, you thought that it won't be ready. The three East African nations won't be ready, but CAF is confirming to us that they will be ready. Tournaments will go on as planned. Do you think that the Super Eagles can go, two better than the bronze medal that we got at the last AFCON? How are you feeling?
Let's talk about the countries yet. See, I know what CAF is doing. CAF is encouraging them, also putting pressure on them. See, it's going to be embarrassing if they say they could take that tournament from them. Uganda pitch failed. He failed CAF inspection. What they just built, he failed CAF inspection. People are still carrying bricks in Kenya in the Talanta Stadium that they are doing. Talanta. So, I see there's no road network. There's no road network. Even Ivory Coast that had good road network, people died. There was an accident in Ivory Coast. I think Buaketo, is it Buaketo during the South Africa game? People had accident. So, I know that they're encouraging, but AFCON, the standard Morocco and Ivory Coast set, IoT is very difficult for CAF to manage this thing. It's very, very difficult. It's very, very difficult. So I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to encourage them, ask them, put more pressure on them for them to do these things. But IoT, you cannot force this thing. I don't think these guys will be ready. I hope they are ready, because I don't want to go to Morocco, because definitely we're not going to South Africa with what they are yet that they are doing currently here. Because we're not going to South Africa. So there's no going. So I don't want us to say, okay, it's going to be Morocco again. They will. So before, they are serving you chicken with meat. Now, the chicken with rice. Now it's only rice. There's no chicken there, because you don't have any option. They will treat you the way they want. I don't want that. So it's a challenge for Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania now. Please put your hands in order. Do this thing. Get roads. If they cannot be doing it again now. So because if Super Eagles is based in Tanzania and I want to go to Kenya, I'm going to fly.
You fly now.
But in Morocco, you just train. You're there. So Kenya infrastructure in Kenya, can it host AFCON? Would it collapse? See, how many hotels they have in Kenya? IoT. Even Marrakech that is. No. CAF president said it now. That you are there, all those small spare room that you have in your house, Airbnb, he knows. They will book CAF Congress alone.
But that's normal now. That's normal. Even here in Toronto, they are offering people money to rent out their houses and apartments for Airbnb for the World Cup. It's normal.
So we know, but I'm just trying to say that if with that you want to host that volume of people, that people coming to your country, come to your city, I'm just one even Marrakesh that hosts people every year during that Nigeria Algeria IoT, you cannot see any hotel to book. You cannot see any hotel to taxi. I don't know who gave me this listening. That to get taxi alone that day against Algeria, everywhere shut down. So, in my opinion, they have to be ready for situations like that. So, I just hope that they are ready. Can Nigeria win it? See, who will be Nigerian's coach going to the AFCON? We don't know. Maybe Eric Shea contract will end next year, January. They might, at the NFF, normally do something. They will put people out that Eritrea is threatening Nigeria to increase money. So if you go, we have capable hands. They will pay because of these hungry ones. They will pay them the 2 days. Say, you should go. So Eritrea will now leave. See, we have seen it before, play before your team. It's not. They will sabotage the guy. They will they will do something. The guy will leave. Then it's going to be only 2 games left, a match to play during qualified. They will go and bring a guava. They will hype a guava again, bring a guava. Then guava will take us to the AFCON. See, then we will catch us in the second round again. That is going to be played out. See, these people are not serious. That is it. IoT. I can't give my hopes up. See, IoT, how can you collect $200,000 and for you to pay $1,000 as a fee, you chop everything? You think these people are ready? IoT, forget. See, we cannot. I don't think we can win the next AFCON. I don't think so. We will go so as for president.
What if Uzoh does not win in September?
Wait.
Okay. All right. Okay, let's move forward. We're about to get into our final few topics. But yes, thank you to everyone that's sticking with us. If you are yet to hit the like button, please make sure that you do so now. And I also want to remind you guys that you can support channel with super chat. If you have comments that you want us to take on screen, if you have questions, on mobile, you can also give gifts. That's a new thing that YouTube has introduced to horizontal live streams on mobile. You can also leave gifts as well as your super chats. And yes, if you want to shop, you can shop on eaglestrackershop.com. You can get the t-shirt that I'm wearing, support ET. We have other fantastic Nigerian merchandise. Check that out, eaglestrackershop.com. Okay, so like former Manchester City defender has been in the news recently for some comments that he made on, I believe it was All Out Football, the YouTube channel. I watched the podcast and then I found some interesting things, specifically where he was talking about Nigeria. And there's 2 of his takes that I want us to touch on. Not everybody might have seen that, so I have the videos here. And I'll play the first one and then we'll get reactions, and I'll play the second one and we'll get reactions afterwards as well. So the first one is where he talks about regrets in his career. Let's hear it.
To switch nations to play for Nigeria. What made you turn them down at the time?
So through my career, there's lots of things like which I look back on and I wish would have done something differently, even though in the moment it made perfect sense to me. So coming through at City's academy, being a City supporter, nothing was more important to me than playing for City. And this is the time when I think Mancini had just come in. I'd played the last game under Mark Hughes, who was the previous manager. I was very much part of his process. Then all of a sudden Mancini came in and I wasn't. Like, shout out to like Dedrick, a friend of ours or whatever. But Dedrick was in the reserves. Then all of a sudden Dedrick was in the first team playing ahead of me. And it was weird. It found it really, really weird because it was like halfway through the season. And at the time, there was going to be an AFCON coming up. And the manager was getting in contact with me and he was saying he wanted me to come down to it. And for me personally, like, I see myself as 2 different people because I am Mancunian, I'll say that, but I'm very much Nigerian. Nigeria is home for me. If I'm in a room full of people from Nigeria, I feel like I know every single one of them. That's just how it is for me. Something about the culture is like, that's my family, that's my bloodline, that's what it is. But from a football standpoint, I remember thinking, right, I'm currently not playing at City here and I'm going to go away for 6 weeks in January, from January time. I'm going to come back, I'm going to have nothing. And I was like, I don't think I can do that. People say, no, you do it, put yourself in the shop window, this, that, and the other. It's like, nah,
and it was different back then as well. It's not like, you see now players can go away to like an AFCON or something like that, and it's a platform now. It wasn't really. They were
saying it was. They were saying it was. But again, as a young person,
what year was that? Didn't you? 2010.
It's around then, yeah. It's 19,
I don't even remember like the way it's documented now. I don't even know what channel that would have been on. It wouldn't have been even been on telly. Really.
It's just people look down their nose at it now with more coverage, but people still would look down their nose at it then. And I think at the time, there were a lot of like African players who had to be like exceptional, otherwise they'd just be replaced. Because now they say, well, I don't know if I'll sign you because you go away for 6 weeks every couple of years.
You have to be at Eto.
And it's changing. Obviously, it's changing to every 4 years now, which is causing some sort of issues. But I said I need to focus on the side of things of staying at City. Stayed at City, didn't play anyway. But what made it worse was like, this is a family friend now, relatively speaking. But someone like JJ Okocha, with the influence that he has, he And to be fair, John Mikel says a little bit as well. They put me in this bracket of people who would rather like beg to play for England than choose to play for the homeland in Nigeria. And once you're painted with that brush,
there's no point.
you're done. Because for perspective, like obviously England's very passionate about football, as is Nigeria, but Nigeria's like population's over 200 million people.
Yeah.
And when I say they're online, they're online.
Yeah.
So even in me talking about this now, I know what the comments and stuff are going to be. And as I retired, like I regret not playing international football. And if I'd have had a chance to do it for Nigeria, I know how much it would have meant for people like me.
Yeah.
But, you know, the decisions I made in
Okay, so that was quite a lengthy video, but I wanted to play it in its entirety so that we can get full context of everything that he's talking about. Spoken about, you know, he was coming up at Man City. He had just lost his place in the team. Roberto Mancini was keeping him out of the squad, and he got contacted to represent Nigeria. This was going to the AFCON in 2010, and he felt like, well, if I leave, by the time I come back, I'll have nothing that I'm coming back to at Manchester City. And he also mentioned that, you know, he ended up not playing at all, even though he stayed with Man City. So it's kind of like, oh, maybe he should still have gone. And he said that people like Gigi Okocha and maybe Mikel Obi paints that brush of, oh, you'd rather beg to play for, you know, we talk about it a lot about how players would always beg, like our Tosin will be begging other countries instead of just coming to play for Nigeria. And he said once you get painted with that brush, it's almost like there's no coming back. There's no coming back from that. And he said, you know, as far as regrets, that's the one thing that if he regrets never getting to play international football, and if he had a chance to play for Nigeria, he knows what that would have meant. So, Smith, like, what are your immediate reactions to hearing the words of Nedi Monoha?
See, you know, IoT. Okay, this is not a Yoruba book. I'll tell you one adage. But see, there's two sides to a story. It's always a story. So I knew the story very well. IoT, this guy was called up. But I understand from his own angle then. I think it was called up around the time that we were also chasing Gabriel Agbonalo. So Agbonalo's own then, because I remember all these things from TalkSport, BBC and everything. Agbonalo's situation was that they are calling him to play under 20 in Nigeria. We were play for Super Eagles. He actually was waited to play for Super Eagles then. It was not so villain then. This guy, Ndomonoa, I understand that he wasn't born in UK. He was probably born in Delta State, if I'm not mistaken. So it took him time to get his passport, you know, in the UK. So, and I think around when he got his passport to when England called him for the national for this, he said there was no, at that time too, I don't know who was even the coach then for that 20. He wasn't considered for that 20, was he? I think it was sometimes. And I think so. Then what happened then? I think did he consider for that 20? But what we heard was that they sent some people to speak to him. But what he's saying now is different. He said that he didn't have a choice. That it was just England, you know. He said England just came. They said, okay, go get picked up in the evening, things like that. But according to what was reported here, was that England, we sent somebody to go and talk to him, speak to actually play for Nigeria. And he said that there was this thing, this code then that he would rather, no, he said winning AFCON and playing in the quarterfinal or so of the World Cup. I don't know. He said something that he would rather face that England than Nigeria. I don't know, maybe this is just cool by Nigerian press. But the vibe we're getting then, IoT, was that he wasn't ready to play for Nigeria. But now, for him to be saying this, maybe probably the guys in Nigeria did not approach him. So, you know, it's just so difficult. So, I don't know, do you to believe him or to believe the press in Nigeria. There's history around the press in Nigeria too, that you cannot even trust what they say. So, because sometimes they might say, oh, they have been calling you, you didn't. So it might not be true. So in my own opinion, I just think that it should not regret anything. The mistake he made was that he was able to come out and say he wants to play for Nigeria. He didn't see anything.
Let me ask you this question, Smith. Like, do you think, in terms of what he was saying about painting people with that brush of, oh, they don't want to play for Nigeria, they are begging England or they are begging another country. Do you think maybe we are too quick to paint people with that brush? Because what he's saying is that at the time that he was called, it just was not a good time for him career-wise, and he just did not know how things were going to work out. So it's like, from his point of view, I can understand why you don't want to leave at this time when you've lost your place in the team. We even saw this Ghanaian boy do it recently, Fatau, where he rather stayed with Leicester and then he got red card in the first match, but that's another story. But, so do you think maybe when that happened, people were too quick to say, he's rejecting us, he does not want to play for us, he wants to beg England? Should we maybe try to understand a little bit more?
Communication. Communication is very important. After that AFCON, what happened after? They also, why can't you come out and say it? Katinko, I don't know if you know Katinko. Katinko came out and said that he wants to play for Nigeria. He said if it's only one game that will play for Nigeria after his career, I said he will still play it. And I think he played in this charity game in Warri. Is it Warri or Benin City? All this charity game is not an official game. So he didn't communicate. How is it? He didn't communicate. Just like this guy, Tusen Darabioyo, he might probably come out and say that, nobody discussed anything with me and things like that. You keep on going on the press that what's it called? That he wants to go to Euros with that type of useless performance. I'm just saying it too. He said Ivo had a clause on his contract that if Barcelona and Real Madrid come for him, they should release him in Chelsea. He's going to Burnley. I'm just saying that. So I think finally, look at Bukayo Saka. When they ask him a question that which country will he play for, England and Nigeria, say, it will be tough to choose. He's already put that option there, IoT. But these guys did not put any option on the floor. It's only England. All these things that he's talking about, I don't understand. It's only England. Bukayo Saka said it, that it's going to be tough to pick between England and Nigeria. Nigeria never invented anything in him. So this Saka is already sending signal to Nigeria. Is it not? That is it. So these guys never had any opportunity to they didn't see anything. So why is he not talking like this? So it thinks that we will forget. We will not forget. Why can't he grant interview? That I also appreciate my Nigerians that the way Tosin is doing now. That we are honored to play for Nigeria and this and that. Well, after that, they are chasing glad to walk up and he has not had any cap. Why can't he grant interview then and say that, okay, you know what? It's just because I'm ready, Nigeria is my. Why can't all what he's saying now? How can't he say it before? So I don't believe all those soldiers he's talking about.
There's one thing that he said that he was right about. He said that the Nigerians are always online and are going to be in the comments. And for sure, Nigerians are online. We hear everything. And people like Smith, they remember everything. But also, I had asked somebody about this before. And the person brought up a fair point that I want to now throw to you and everybody that's listening to us as well. He's saying he regrets it. If England called him up and maybe he became a 20-cap player for England, would he say that he regrets not accepting Nigeria at the time? So it's almost like you're looking at it now as a regret because you realize that maybe Nigeria was your only real chance. If he had gone on to play for England and go to the World Cup, go to the Euros, would he look at it and say, oh man, I wish I had accepted that AFCON call-up back then? Probably not. So it's only because things didn't pan out, and it's almost as if you ignored the low-hanging fruit to chase the one that was far, far, far away, and then you missed out on the both of them. And now that's why you're feeling that regret. So while I like Nedum Onoha, I like him as a footballer, I like him as the personality that he is now. he speaks very. I know he was a decent footballer. I have to give credit to him. He was a decent footballer. But I don't really buy into what he's saying. I feel like he's only saying it because things didn't pan out in the other direction. But at the end of the day, it's his life, it's his career. He's entitled to his own feelings and opinions about how his own career went. There's another part of that interview that I want to play and I want us to talk about as well. So let me put that video up on the screen.
Like I mentioned before, how I'd played for 2 years or whatever in the Premier League before getting called up for England under the 20s. Well, I could have been called up for Nigeria at any point in that time. And then when you enter the 21s frame, you start to see like playing international football according to like their space. Yeah. And with the 21s, like different, I got my British passport when I was 15. So before that, I couldn't have played for England anyway. Yeah. So this is only a few years later this happens. Like the letter just turned up at reception. Claire Marsden's like, oh, you've got this. Oh, what does it say? Oh, it says I'm getting picked up on Sunday to go and play for England. Bring your passport. That's not a decision. That's just something that's just happening. Yeah. And with Nigeria, so this is the thing that really needs to be put into perspective. So I played with Bereze when he was at QPR, and he'd just come over. And I remember within the first year or two of him being there was like some optional training camp for potential Nigerian players happening at Fulham, and he's signing himself up to go to that type of thing there. He'd not played for any Nigerian youth team. He's just gathered to do that. And that's one of the best talents in Europe right now that could have been playing for like the homeland. And they could have had it if their recruitment system was better, for younger people. Yeah. But they always seem like
instead of just making it general.
They always seem to turn up just a bit too late for certain people. And I disregard, forget my side of things. But there are lots of players at a young age who could be part of Nigerian national youth team setups and stuff. But if you notice, if ever, like Nigeria have got a really good record at like world under 20s and 17s.
Oh, so the video cuts off a little early, but what he has said is that most of the players that represent Nigeria at the youth teams are not foreign born, are usually foreign based. They're usually the ones from Nigeria. So now he's talking about, he only, like you were talking about earlier, he only got his British passport at 15. So Nigeria could have called him up any point before that surprise letter to go and represent England under 18s. Also mentioned Ebere Chieze and saying, I mean, the pictures we've seen those pictures online a lot of Ebere Chieze when he went to the training camp, in London, and how he was in our hands, but we somehow let it slip, like the way some teams let the title slip sometimes, So talking about the recruitment and saying how Nigeria does not necessarily recruit foreign-based or foreign-born talent early enough at a young age. We don't get them while they are young. I thought it was a very, very interesting conversation to have because do you think that we should put more effort into calling up foreign-based or foreign-born players into our U17, our U20 teams? I mean, like, what do you think?
For me, see, I'm a poster of this. If you're in Nigeria, you deserve to serve your country, no matter where you are born. Adetunji, your Pekin can also say he's not in Nigeria. That is, you cannot. If he's good enough, let him play. Let him play. All these foreign-born, this thing, I don't understand. Because at the end of the day, they will now meet, level playing field, they're going to meet up. So for me, in my own opinion, I think we need to open up our underage to these foreign-born players. Very important. And I think that most of these guys that come and play national team, they don't know exactly what to expect. But if they are part of the underage before, they will know the culture already. So when they play Super Eagles, it's going to be a lot easier for them to adapt. Kevin Bassey played for Nigeria for the first time in a crucial qualifier against Ghana in Kumasi. Lukman played for the first time for Nigeria in a crucial qualifier against Ghana in Abuja. Why can't we integrate these guys early? Since we know that we're still going to get them in the future. Why? There's nothing wrong in it. There's nothing wrong in it.
Let me just hop on that very quickly, what you are talking about. So you are saying we should get them early. Now, what would you say to somebody that says, if we look at the average, say 15-year-old Nigerian British or Nigerian Spanish or Nigerian French boy playing for Arsenal Academy or playing for Real Madrid Academy or playing for Marseille Academy, and you look at the average Nigerian 15-year-old boy maybe playing in Beyond Limits or playing in Mavlon or one of these teams, the average, the person abroad is more advanced and further along than the one in Nigeria. Now, I said average because there can be some superior talents in Nigeria, here and there. But the average one abroad is probably more advanced than the average one in Nigeria. If we start, this, Mila, you know this very well. If you look at the English clubs, for example, look at the academy, any under 21, under 20, it's almost as if it's Nigeria, like just Chuku this, I did this, Ola that. Like Nigerians are plenty in those academies across the UK and other countries, and like the UK. In like 20 years, it will be Canada, but right now is the UK. So people would say if those guys all show interest, there would be almost no spots for the boys in Lagos, for the boys in Abuja, for the boys in Owerri, for the boys in Kano, because the ones abroad will be further along and it will be hindering opportunities for those that are in Nigeria. What would you say to that?
Is national team about opportunity? I know it's about opportunity, but you have to select the best if you want to win IoT. See, talent is talent. Coach John Ogu, when he coached on a 20 team in what was it called? This called it's in Toulon tournament in France.
Yeah,
he had Wilfred Ndidi from Nat Boys, and he had Semi Ajayi from Arsenal. He dropped Semi Ajayi for Wilfred Ndidi, and they asked him, "Hey, you drop Arsenal player for a Nat Boy player?" People shouted, "Say no!" He said something. This is more than how many years ago now? Is more than 10 years ago now. He said that it's opportunity. That in a few years' time, they will know the reason why he picked Wilfred ahead of Semi Ajayi. I want to ask you a question. Who had the better career between Semi Ajayi and Wilfred Ndidi?
Wilfred Ndidi.
So sometimes if you know that this is talented, so Ajayi was just in that Arsenal academy then. Wilfred was playing for Nat Boys, but Wilfred did better. So that's what I say. Talent is talent. So that is when we allow us to pick the best from Nigeria, not consultancy players. Yes, let's be honest with ourselves, not consultancy players. There's a captain that you out of our 20 now that they were projecting now. How many of them able to compete? With due respect, I said that Bukayo Saka and Samuel Chukwueze, they came around the same time. Samuel Chukwueze was dribbling everybody in Villarreal B then. And I said it. I came now we're doing second life. I said, you know what? For me, I think this Saka boy, the ceiling might be higher. Hey! After that time, we saw Chukwueze. With due respect to him, he did well in his career. He's doing well in his career too. But you cannot compare him with Bukayo Saka. I spoke to somebody, he might be listening to me now, that this boy, Nonima Dweke, that plays for PSV then, said, why can't we get this boy? Say, we don't look at him, but Chukwueze is better than him. I'm not saying, but I know that nothing, if they can cut that touchline where they run past.
Dweke is doing well for us now.
He's doing well. So I'm just trying to say that sometimes, you have to just select the best. See, IoT, nobody dictates, and life can take you anywhere. So because life take you anywhere, they should know how to judge you. Those kids that are born in this UK here, the Saka tell the parents in heaven, say, I go and bomb in the UK. No, now life take them there. When Ebrechieze went to that camp, I went to go and check him. He was playing for Wokom. Is it Wokom Wanderers or so? Wokom. Is it that the club that the Beast played for?
Yeah, Wokom Wanderers.
Wokom Wanderers. Thank you. I knew that this boy is good. See, this Michael they're talking about when he was playing for Reading second team. When people are shouting, say, "Don't go for him." What is he doing? We knew that Olise is good, but it's not French. No, so at that time, why can't we spot these guys too early? Jamal Musiala was he not meant to play for the 17 before? Why can't we spot him? Say this boy is good. Why can't we? So until we go and bring over each players, bring this thing. See, if we don't win, it doesn't matter. But if those boys come, do you want Nigeria to come? Oh yeah, let's compete and let's see exactly who should be the best. So in my own opinion, I think we should open up. See, talking about opening up too, we need to be organized. For example, now, if I'm raising my son to come and play national team and he's 17 or 18 years of age, I would know that there should be an arrangement for someone to come and pick him in the airport and take him to their hostel. They should have hostel with security, so you know that it's plug and play. You know, if you put him in the plane in Abuja, by the next morning, you don't do intro. You know, I'll go and pick my son up. No, it should be plug and play. You know, we should be organized. If you know that we want to get this diaspora to play for Nigeria, we should be more organized. We should have a camp that is secured. That is it. You know, it's just so sad. It's right, oh. Apom said it. Go and check Omar Katuga's interview. That you guys don't come early. It's why there's now rivalry between, okay, now Nigeria is competing with Olise. Imagine. You will not even be in any conversation at all. Yes, now Nigeria is now competing with Brazil. Is it now? Is it possible? Is it possible? It's not possible, Ayoti. It's not possible. Even Morocco cannot compete with Olise. Can you bond them well? So they get these guys early. That is the approach Morocco is using, and it's working for them. So we need to open up, honestly, if we want to compete. The world stage. Yeah.
No, you make a very good point, and I just threw that question out there to get your perspective on it. I also, I've said this. I think that the best legs should be representing the national team. Now, whether the person is born in Nigeria or born abroad doesn't really matter. The best player should represent the national team. I understand that we want to develop homegrown talent. We definitely should not ignore that. But I think that it's really a sign for us to go back and fix our systems. Because if we can fix our systems well enough, the players that are born and raised in Nigeria should be able to compete with the ones that are born and raised abroad. But our system is so bad, we don't have good enough academies, we don't have good enough facilities, good enough infrastructure to help these players to grow. That's why people are scared that if you bring 20 foreign-born youth team players versus 20 Nigerian-born youth team players, you would think that maybe 15 of the foreign-born will qualify and only 5 of the homegrown talents will qualify. And they feel like, oh, that's not going to allow us to develop homegrown talent. I understand it, but I think that it's a sign for us to go and invest more and to go and fix our system. Especially, we need to get rid of overaged players in our youth national teams. Because at the end of the day, yes, I know we want to develop, we want to give players opportunity, we want to win these youth competitions. It doesn't do anything for us. As of today, we are the most successful on our 17 side. But what have we achieved as a national team? What are we currently achieving as a senior national team? Nobody, like, in the grand scheme of things, nobody really cares about the country that has won the most on our 17 championships. If you've won the most World Cups, we care. If you've won the most AFCON, we will care. But on our 17, people don't really care like that. So we need to fix our systems, and we need to be able to groom our home-based talent well enough that they can compete with somebody that has been at Chelsea Academy since he was 9 years old. Now he's 15. I understand that he has got high quality training, but we need to fix our systems that a guy from Lagos or Owerri or Kano or whatever can compete with that kind of player and can even come out on top.
So, IoT, do you think we have the capacity to do it?
What do you define as capacity?
See, so it's like you're giving a primary school students further maths to do. See, this thing I'm talking about is so complicated. I think you have worked with people in the Nigerian football sector before. How many hours will it take you to explain this to them? I spoke to somebody here just to explain logistics about picking up players, arranging and everything there, just to make sure it's plug and play. They don't understand. Talking about fixing system now. There's no coach. There's no infrastructure. IoT. If not because of this aspirant player, we will not be where we are. Under 17 now, we are talking about. When last do we qualify for under 17? When last do we even to go to Africa Championship? When last? Africa now is 10 teams in the world Nigeria they qualify again. When it was only 3 in Africa when they qualify. 10 teams on the 17 World Cup, we know they qualify again. So, it's just, so that's why sometimes it's very hard. I look at the league, and with due respect to Akuegbu, he came out to say, hey, you know what? We are winning away the league now. League is improving. Oh my days. What is winning away games mean that league is improving? IoT, there's so many things that I just think that these guys don't have the capacity to do it. Even to the media, nothing. IoT, there's no way you look now. It's zero. IoT, what is the encouragement? There's no way you look. You said this thing about the Nigerian club not competing in Africa, not competing all this thing. Before IoT, we used to have 2 clubs in the semi-final of the Champions League. Go and check since Amaju became NFL president. 0. So he has set us back for like 20 years. All this I'm talking about, see, before we can if we will say we want to produce players, we want to start fresh now, it's going to last for like 15 years for us to recover what they've done set us back. So it is very, very difficult, IoT.
All right. We're going to end that conversation there. I see some people are commenting, but people do not leave super chats. But yeah. So yes, we definitely need to take advantage of our diaspora talent. We definitely need to try to get them early enough because the reality of it is that if we're only trying to get these players when they have already shown enough to be playing for an Arsenal or to be playing for whatever top team is there, and England's first team or France's first team or Spain's first team or whatever is looking at them, they are at that point unlikely to choose Nigeria. And if we look at it without naming names, most of the ones that choose Nigeria are the ones that obviously did not have a chance to play for the other national team. That's the unfortunate reality. But if you're able to get them early enough, because like you mentioned, Ebereze, we've known about him since. Michael Olise, we've known about him since. And there are many of these players. I don't know whether Amaju fumbled it with some of them or whatever the case may be. But if we're able to get them early enough, then maybe we might be able to get them to play for our first teams because they're already a part of the system. Let's move forward. Let's talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria and we'll wrap up for this evening. It's been a fantastic one, so we need to wrap up very, very well and very quickly as well. Before I go, let me take super chat from Charles because he's not going to let me rest. Charles is saying, IoT, please help me tell Nigerian football fans to come out. There's a big football protest happening at the National Assembly. Please help me tell them. That's what Charles is saying. Charles does not say when the protest is happening or
it's tomorrow.
I know, but I'm just saying he that is passing the information did not give people the full details of the protest that he wants them to attend. But yes, so Charles is saying that you guys should join the protest, make Nigerian football great again. There's also a comment here from Real K. Do you think Tosin is good enough for the Super Eagles?
Despite that, he's flopping. I still believe that it's better than some of the defenders.
That's the reality. It's better than some of the defenders that we have. So yes, is he good enough? Yes. Yes. Am I craving his appearance for Nigeria? No. But he's good enough. He's better than some of our players. We have to be honest with ourselves.
If they're taking him off after, I believe that they will remove Gogu after 20 minutes. I'm just joking, but I just think that he's better than some players.
He's better than some players that we have. I would agree with you on that one. Okay. Let's go to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Coach Eric Shell has been on a nationwide scouting mission trying to find eligible bachelors, eligible NFL, MPFL players for the Unity Cup that is taking place later this month in London. Smith, Is there any MPFL player that you recommend for Coach Shell?
Yeah. They said that he came to watch Junior, Ayobami Junior. That played for Serie, the game against Nassau United. He said that the same complaint too, but that if you are good on the ball, when you don't have the ball, you have to work hard. So I think that's one of the things that the MPF, I'm not saying this thing, but he wasn't impressed with with what he saw. That's it.
Okay, but two people that he might have been impressed with, let's get into their own story very, very quickly. We've seen the reports in the news that these two boys talking about David Ozoh, 20-year-old player for Derby County / Crystal Palace, and Femi Azeez, the 24-year-old for Millwall. We're hearing that Coach Eric Shell has spoken to them and they have pledged their allegiance to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I believe Eric Shell has even gone and followed them on Instagram as well, so he's doing close marking for them. But let's talk about these players. David Ozoh, 20-year-old player, Derby County. Is this a guy that realistically should be considered for the Super Eagles of Nigeria?
It's a very good player, and for him to be 20, he's not 24, he's got silly. I think that he can see, this is good years. I think he's still in front of him. With due respect to Frank Onyeka, I watched Derby against Coventry. I'm not watching championship because of Frank Onyeka. So I watched Coventry against Derby County. The way he bullied Frank Onyeka was like, come on, who is this guy? The way he bullied. I was like, okay, come on. I think this guy can play for us. And IoT, this guy was meant to play for Nigeria under 20 before, but he wasn't picked. So if he was picked now, at least the integration will be a lot easier than this we are trying to do. So the boy got a passport. He played, he got a Spanish passport, a English passport, Nigerian passport now. So I think he's waiting for clearance from FIFA so that he can actually represent Nigeria in the upcoming friendly games. But I think Femi Azeez doesn't need any clearance to play for Nigeria. I think he has the passport, then he will be fine to play for Nigeria. Femi Azeez, good player. He's a very, very good player. Nigeria should expect a lot, I think, from Femi Azeez. Even if we don't get promoted, I think Femi Azeez will be probably going to Everton, Aston Villa also, because they're already on his neck. Very, very good player. And he was rated the best player by Usor.com. We do the Premier, we do the EPL. Championship, yes. EFL, yeah.
Somebody had asked, the one person I replied when I put out that post said, what does Femi Azeez bring to the Super Eagles? And I saw that question and I was like, thank you for asking that question. Because I don't get excited about many players, but I really, really do like Femi Azeez. I'm not going to lie to you. I did not follow him so closely throughout the season because I like to follow those that are already pledged for Nigeria. But after the reports have come in the news, I've gone to watch him. I've gone to scout him online as well. I've used the Y Scout and I've, looked at everything that he does. This guy is a talent. This guy's a talent. Decent enough pace. He's not the fastest on the field, but decent enough pace. Very, very direct winger.
Pineapple too.
We're talking about the right winger that likes to run at his players, that can take it down to the byline, that can cut in on his left foot. He's left-footed primarily, but can also use his right foot very well. This is a player that gets you goals, that gets you assists, that delivers fantastic crosses into the box. When Femi shoots a ball, the ball stays short. When he strikes a ball, the ball stays struck. Good power on his shots, good finisher of the ball, fantastic talent. And like you rightly mentioned, had a very fine season with Millwall this season. Of course, they are in the promotion playoffs. Hopefully, they can
get last weekend
to the Premier League. Yes, scored 2 goals to wrap up their season. Fantastic guy. And the eye test, there's 2 tests that you always use. You use the eye test and then you use the statistical test. He passes the eye test with flying colors. Very, very interesting forward player. But the statistical test, he also passes with extremely flying colors. I was so impressed with what I was seeing when I was looking at his stats. Let me just run you through some of it. Obviously, he plays for Millwall. We already spoke about that. But when you get into some of the statistics and his ranking in the league this season, as far as goals, he scored 11 goals this season for Millwall. The 17th highest goal scorer in the league. For a winger, 11 goals. That's a fantastic return. And his XG was 8.2. So you know that he scored some goals that he was not necessarily expected to score, which is also a positive sign when you're outperforming your XG. Assists, 8 assists, 7th highest in the league. So 11 goals and 8 assists in the league. Fantastic output. So you also give him credit for that. His expected assist was 9.75. So what that also tells you is that a striker or some players have wasted some of the chances that he has provided, and he should have got more assists than he did. So a player with that kind of output, exciting to watch. Moving to more statistics, this boy also shoots the ball. For a winger, he gets attacking output. He took 82 shots in the league this season, the 12th highest number of shots in the AFL Championship this season. Again, he is a right winger, not a striker. And he took 82 shots this season, averaging 2.46 shots per game. So a good average in terms of his shots. Also, his crossing, he attempted 6.76 crosses per 90 minutes. So he puts that ball into the box. He gets the crosses into the box like he's supposed to as a winger. And his completion rate is 39%, which is also a very, very good completion rate for any player on the football field. And again, even when you say there's only 39%, but bear in mind, the fact that the cross was not completed does not mean that it was a bad cross. Somebody could have just defended it very well, or maybe you put it in a dangerous area and one of your teammates just did not go into that area, but it was still a good cross. So he's shooting, excellent. He's crossing, very, very good as well. So you give him credit for that. Also, in terms of what we call the pre-assists, he was involved in 2 pre-assists this season. So not a crazy number, but still he's involved in all of that. And he 1.71 shots that are from his final pass per 90 minutes in the AFL Championship this season. So he sets his teammates up for opportunities. That's something that you have to be aware of. And that 1.71 was the 10th highest in the EFL Championship this season. So he's had a very, very good season. As far as dribbling, the boy loves to dribble as well. We're talking about 6.8 attempted dribbles per 90 minutes. So he sees his man, he takes on his man. That's another thing to know about this Femi Azeez boy. He sees his man, he takes on his man. And a lot of the time, he beats his man. He has a 62% success rate when it comes to dribbling. 62%. So he takes on his man, and most of the time, he beats his man. So again, everything is just pointing in the right direction for this boy. He is a fine player, can take it on his left foot, can take it on his right foot. I was watching some of the goals that he scored this season, and as I was watching the goals, I was just smiling. I was actually thinking that, oh God, should I download some of these videos to come and show you guys? But I know that copyrights will flag it because the English leagues, they are very crazy with this thing. But if you have the chance to check out some of the goals that this boy scored this season, he's a joke. He's a joke. He's a joke of a player. Very, very interesting player to watch. Do I think that he's going to come and change our lives? Is he going to be the next Ademola Lookman? Maybe not. But is he going to have a solid impact for us? Yes, he will. Yes, he will. He has too much talent. Maybe playing the African game can take him a little bit of time to get used to the temperature, the weather, everything that comes with it, the aggression. But the EFL Championship is not an easy league, and he has done very well there. I think that he will provide a lot of attacking output to Nigeria from that right flank. I can't even lie. When I was scouting him and watching him, I was telling Samuel Chukwueze that he should go and buy seat belts, because if care is not taken, he might have to strap himself on that bench. That's the reality. Femi Azeez looks like that kind of player that can come into the team and secure that right side for himself. He's a very, very good player. Like I said, 2-footed, can shoot, can cross, can create for his teammates, runs around, dribbles past his players, exciting player, one to watch. For me, one to watch for sure. I don't know about David Ozoh as much, but Femi Azeez, I want to see him play for Nigeria, and I'm looking forward to him potentially getting caught up for the Unity Cup and even in the future playing for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So that one, I'm very, very, very happy to see. I'm very happy to see. I have a comment here from Adedamola. Adedamola says, I watched Millwall this past weekend. Femi Azeez is very good. He's a direct winger and great finisher. He is the missing link in the Super Eagles right wing. Charles said, I've never seen IoT hype any player like that, apart from Osimhen. It seems he's very no, the boy is good. And you guys know, like I when I talk about players, I like to be coy on a lot of players, but when I see something and I feel something in my heart, I will tell you what I feel. And when I watched him, when I scouted him, when I looked at his games, when I looked at his numbers, when I looked at his actions on the ball, off the ball, I'm like, yes, I want to see this boy. I want to see him. That's honestly what I felt. So yes, I'm really looking forward. I'm really looking forward to it. Someone said, does that mean that we've gotten our own Lamine Yamal? Lamine Yamal is we're talking about
Lamine Yamal is
best in the world level.
That dog
Lamine Yamal is we're talking top 5 players in the world. I did not say Femi Azeez is a top 5 player in the world. If he was, he'd not be playing for Millwall. But he's very, very good, and he can provide a lot of attacking output for the Super Eagles of Nigeria and also bring excitement to fans. One to watch for sure. Okay. Boy, it's going to be interesting to see. Yeah. I don't know if anybody wants to come up and join the conversation, man. We have been here for
a lot of stories to talk about today.
We have been here for well, yeah, there were a lot of topics. I warned everybody from the beginning. I said this was going to be a long one. If you have anything to share, I've dropped the link. So please just make sure that you are fully clothed, make sure that we can hear you and see you properly, and you'll get 1-2 minutes to quickly share your thoughts. If there is nobody, we'll wrap up. But I want to just give a little bit of time to see if anybody would like to share their thoughts on any of the topics that we've discussed today. Feel free to call in and chime in. We always like to hear from you. Talk about the Unity Cup, talk about the players that have won trophies, the Super Falcons, the Falconets, and anything else in between. So yes, please guys, the link has been posted and is pinned on YouTube. Call in now if you would like to share your thoughts. Otherwise, we'll wrap up for this evening.
What's your take about the invoice to the age level is dropping? You know, Azeez is 24 years of age. Also, is 20. Fernandez is 24. You know, Kabasi is 25 or so. So, like, you know, they're now taking over from like a much older one like Lookman. You know, that's 20. So I think it's decent too.
It's good. I mean, there's a lot more interest in foreign-born players to represent Nigeria now, which is good. Which you have to give credits to the likes of Iwobi and the Olainos, you know, and even the Lookmans that paved the way and blazed the trail for other younger players to now beat their chest and say, okay, I want to play for Nigeria. So I think it's a good thing. And of course, as players are getting older, we need other players to step up and take their place. Iwobi is 30. He just turned 31 yesterday. You know, it will be of when, you know, is 30 years old. Lookman is 28, about to be 29. You know, so all these players are getting older, and we need to replace them, and we need to replace them with capable hands. Whether those hands come from Nigeria or they come from abroad, we need the best hands. So I'm not mad at it at all. In fact, I'm happy about it. I'm happy that more players now want to represent Nigeria, and more of them are coming in there before they even hit their prime years, rather than trying to come to us when they are Tosin's about to turn 30 is when you now come and say he wants to play for Nigeria. So, you know, I'm happy about that, and I'm looking forward to seeing players. For me, again, as long as we're calling the ones that are actually good and actually merit an invitation, then that's fine. We don't just call any Tom, Dick, and Harry simply because they are born abroad. Yeah, go on, Smith.
Another thing is that in reality, do you think how many years do you think Iwobi should go for the national team? How many years? 4.
Next World Cup, 2030.
Then it's going to be done.
Then it's done, I think.
Do you think it's going to be there 2030?
Yeah, I think it will be if he plays the next World Cup if we qualify. I think so.
When is contract for Ifuamu expiring? I think you can see his contract there.
I'm not sure.
Do you see Iwobi playing till 34? I think he's someone that can just sit down and say, you know what?
He wants to go and be a full-time rapper. Iwobi's Fulham contract expires 2028.
2028. So for me, I think if he start playing qualifier for 230 World Cup, I think he want to go. But Etebo too play qualifier for for what's it called for this World Cup. He didn't.
I think it all depends on how we're doing. If we still look promising, because it's not just Iwobi, it's Lookman, it's Osimhen, it's all these players. So if the Super Eagles still look good, I think Iwobi stays. But if we obviously start to look like we suck, then he might just decide to call it a day. But in my head right now, I think Iwobi goes to the 2030 World Cup if Nigeria qualifies. In my head right now, because even if he's not a key player, he will still be there. I don't right now. I don't see four midfielders that are better than Iwobi.
Okay, now who do you think we stop first, Iwobi or Olaina?
From national team, you're saying?
Yes. When we go and do TikTok, who's it?
I think Olaina stops first between Iwobi and Aino. I think Aino stops first. I don't know. It's tricky. Look, Iwobi never gets injured, but he's injured right now. So who knows? Maybe you don't know how that can affect him and affect his body and how he starts to feel about himself. Because all I know has always been injury every once in a while. Iwobi is like Iron Man, never gets injured. But now that he's gotten injured, if he comes back, what if he doesn't get to play the same way again because his legs are just not quite the same now that he's 30? What if, it's like you never really know how this thing are going to affect. But it's tricky. It's tricky.
Do you think in the takes us to 2030 World Cup?
Nah, Ndidi is on his last legs. Ndidi is already in Besiktas. I don't know. It's possible. Again, it all depends on who comes up. Ndidi is 29 as well. I think it's going to be 30 this year, in December. So it all depends on who comes up. If we don't have anybody that is good enough, I think Ndidi will be there. But if somebody comes up that is good, that is quality, and that you feel comfortable enough passing the baton, like look at William Troost-Ekong. He saw that he's leaving us in good hands with Calvin Bassey and with Benjamin. So he felt like I can bow out. If Ekong wants to be there, he can still be there. Even if he's not a key player, he can still be there. But he felt like I need to bow out, and he bowed out. So I think
we did see coming though.
We did. I mean, we kind of saw it coming. Once he lost his place in the team, once you start getting called up, so for me, when you're a senior player, there are some things that start to happen that you say, I'm better than this. When they start to call you up and you're not even playing at all, that's when you really start to say, what am I actually doing here?
But Omero is still playing for national team now.
He has not officially retired, but Omero is not is not.
But do you see that Omero will just go like this? Because that's why I didn't expect that Omero is not going to be someone we're talking about.
Omero, I think injuries did not.
Omero played in AFCON in Cameroon. He's not.
Yeah,
he played AFCON in Cameroon now. That's just 4-5 years ago. 4 years ago.
But injuries did not serve him well. Injuries did not serve him well.
Okay.
No, Omero had, his injuries, even his latest injury that he has just not been able to come back from since he got injured, has been training on his own. Even since he left his last club, he played in Cluj, got another knee injury, missed 221 days with an injury. It's like injuries just did not serve him well. I think Omero injuries hampered him a little bit. If not, he could have maybe been there a little bit longer. But yeah. Okay, Charles, turn your camera on, Charles.
Yeah,
so that
it was AFCON Ivory Coast. Thank you. It was also
Omero was in Ivory Coast.
Yes. It was there. He played for National against Africa now.
Remember? Oh, yes. You're right. He did.
Yes. That was 2023, 2024.
Yeah. I think it's just injuries that hampered Omero a little bit. But yes. Charles, I can't see you. So Charles, if you can, all I see now is a black screen. If you can turn your camera on, I'll bring you on very quickly and then we can wrap up for the evening. So we can wrap up for the evening. Interesting. Kenneth Omero. But yeah, I don't know if Omero is still trying to come back or if he has called it a day. He hasn't officially retired yet. He's only 32. So we have to wait and see what happens. Charles, please, I'm waiting for you. Leave and come back if you're having issues. Leave and come back. Leave and come back so that we can take you on very quickly and wrap up for this evening. Thank you to everyone that has stuck with us, man. I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream. Let me see some comments in chat if you've enjoyed the stream, if you've enjoyed the conversation for today. Let me see your comments in the chat. Make sure that you've liked the video, guys. Make sure you've liked the video. Less than half of you guys have liked it. Joe, please hit the like button on the video. And if you are new here, make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you never miss any of our content. I also just would say I have another episode of the Home of Nigerian Football podcast that is coming very, 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 very soon. So please look forward to that one. Another episode of the podcast is coming up very soon with a player who has yet to play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, has been close, but not quite there yet. I'm waiting to see if Charles will join us. Otherwise, let me just play the trailer for you guys. Okay, I think Charles is here. Or maybe not. Okay, what we don't need is dead air. Charles, I don't know what's up with your camera. I see that you're trying to go back on, but all I'm seeing is a black
my
screen.
phone is
So yes, let me just play you guys the trailer for my upcoming interview with
Nobody really cares. So like they always say, the first one is special for me when we lifted this trophy, because I always want to, win something with any club I go to. And for me, obviously, the first people I wanted to watch me was my family. My mother to watch this in the Conference League, with Olympia. And she watched and she was so happy. She was emotional also as well.
How do you keep focus before you
listen to music and pray? I needed to score, for my confidence. When I was growing up, there's Mika, Nigerian icons. Ahmed Musa as well, also from the north. Also Kelechi Iheanacho. I was like the assistant captain of the team, but I was not playing. This coach, gave me every opportunity to play, to show myself, to have the belief again. Him is Samir Milinkovic. He's a Croatian coach, and he's also a legend, of Croatian, because he played really a good player, a good coach. To me, I call him my best coach. So I'll see a player who is creative, have the vision. I'm also calm with the ball, but at the same time, now with this position of, defensive midfield, I'm a little bit aggressive. For me, it has always been to shoot, from distance, 30 meters, 40 meters, know how to shoot. And I love it, when I get one and it's into the post, I have this joy, goosebump and all of that.
From playing in Nigeria, going to the third division, going to the second division, and now you are playing in the Europa Conference League. You know that even if people were not watching you before, now they are watching you, they are seeing you. How do you feel together?
It was.
So yes, that is Peter Agba, a player for Maccabi Haifa in the Israeli Premier League. He was amongst the standby or the provisional players for the African Cup of Nations that we just went and got bronze. So not quite a Super Eagles player, yes, but we had a nice conversation about his career. Coming from Nigeria, he went to third division in Croatia, worked his way up, went to Olimpia Ljubljana in Slovenia, and then now he's playing for Maccabi Haifa in Israel. Interesting journey, I found it quite interesting because of his way up. And I also asked him about how people look at it, that when a player goes from Nigeria to third division Croatia, most of the time you say, this player has gone to waste his life. He has gone to waste his career. There's no way up. People like our friend Hobulemi will tell you what his agents doing. His agents is bad agents, is spoiling players' career. So ask him about that. That even him, did he feel like from this third division Croatia, there's no way I'm going to get to the top, and how he has been able to make it from where he started in Nigeria and in Europe to where he is today, and his goals for the future. So it was a nice conversation, very interesting story, very interesting journey, and that one will be out on the channel later this week. So make sure you check it out. Interview with Peter Agba, Home of Nigerian Football Podcast, will be on our channel later this week, also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. But yes, that is that for now. Unfortunately, Charles, we are not able to get you. Smidlai, I'll just wait for Smidlai to come back up so that we can wrap up for this evening. Charles says, I wanted to rant and insult Guso and talk about Perez tomorrow. Maybe Guso has hacked your internet and that's why we're not able to join Charles. But you get a chance to talk about it some other time. Smith, final word from you tonight. What was your final word?
Another show, fantastic show today. Really enjoyed it from start to finish. I don't know, so for me, I just think that we discuss so many things, but we should keep on supporting Nigerian football. That's the most important thing.
Yes. That's the most important thing.
Yeah. And IoT too. Are you gonna guys? Can I just talk about the protest, please, guys? Protest tomorrow. Okay. If you're in Abuja, come out. Don't come with any object, please. It's a peaceful protest. Just protest. So save Nigerian football. That's what it's all about. Thank you, guys.
All right. Save Nigerian football. A beautiful show, fantastic one. As you guys are supporting Nigerian football, don't forget to also support Eagles Tracker, support the podcast, like the video, share, subscribe, and support with super chats, super stickers, super thanks, gifts, everything in between. If you don't have any of that to give us, just tell a friend about the show, tell a friend about the channel. We are trying to hit 100,000 subscribers on Eagles Tracker before the end of 2026, and we cannot do it without your support, without your help, without your love. So please help us to achieve that goal, and I will really, really, really appreciate it. This has been another episode of the Naija FC podcast. My name is Ayoti. My co-host is
Midlai. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, guys. We'll